Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the son of Fire Lord Azulan? Huge shout out to 36th Hokage for this story. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. This is part 1 of Naruto's Will of Fire. This is a what if Naruto was on Avatar the Last Airbender. Naruto was found in a small hut after the Battle of Ba Sing Se. He was orphaned on the day after his 9th birthday. During the Battle of Ba Sing Se, his mother was brutally slain by an earthbender while she was trying to hide him. After the battle, a general by the name of Iroh, who had just lost his son, heard a noise and found the 9-year-old boy crying, seeing his mother dead. Oh, what a terrible sight. He thought. It is okay now, young man, you're safe. The boy started to cry and hugged Iroh. This made him think of his son, Lieutenant, his nephew, Zuko, and his troubled niece Azula. When Iroh and the blonde boy got back to the Fire Nation camp, Naruto was asleep in Iroh's arms. Iroh placed him into his bed. Because he knew that he would not be able to fall asleep that night, not after the death of his beloved son, Lieutenant. Naruto was around the same age as Zuko and Azula. Iroh thought. Then he started to write to his sister-in-law and the mother of Zuko and Azula. The note said, "To my dear sister-in-law and to my dear niece and nephew. It is with a heavy heart that I must inform you that I might have won the battle, but your cousin and my son, Lieutenant, has lost his life during the battle. But I found an orphan boy around Azula and Zuko's age, one that I will adopt. I know he will not replace Lieutenant, but I think he will be a great cousin for them, and he will stay with you all in the Fire Nation Palace. I hope you will understand. Iroh. And to my dear brother Oz and dear father Azulan. I will be returning to the Fire Nation capital to help Naruto with his new lifestyle and opportunities. I will then return to the battlefield and continue my siege on Ba Sing Se." 6 years later in the icy southern water tribe. It's not getting away from me this time. Watch and learn, Katara. This is how you really catch a fish. Katara then tried to waterbend a nearby fish and caught and tried to show it to her brother. Sako look. SHHH Katara, you're gonna scare it away. I can already smell it cooking. But Saka, I caught one. Saka then poked the water bubble that Katara had made and soaked himself. Katara, how come every time you play with magic water I get soaked? It's not magic, Soma, it's bending. Yeah, whatever. Look, all I'm saying is that if I had weird magic powers, I would keep it to myself. And you're calling me weird? At least I don't flex my muscles every time I see my reflection in the water. Saka would then look at Katara just to be yanked down by a strong current. The current brought the siblings into an area with multiple icebergs, which after a good minute of dodging and weaving, they crashed against an iceberg and was stuck on the side. After they got the top and we're safe, and the two started to argue again. Katara, this is all your fault. My fault, Sokka. This is your chapter. If you weren't too focused on flexing, you would seem the current. If you didn't get your weird water magic all over me, then we would have been fine. Sokka, you're good for nothing, sexist narcissistic bastard. I'm embarrassed to even be related to you. Katara. No, I do all the laundry. Well, you playing soldier like damn child. I even do all the laundry. Have you ever smelled your dirty socks? Let me tell you, they are not pleasant. Katara, calm down. No, I'm done with your ass. From now on you're on your own. As soon as she finished saying this, the iceberg behind her collapsed and sent them drifting to an area that was even more secluded. Wow, you mean I did that by myself? Yes, congratulations, Katara. As soon as Sokka said this, a giant glowing iceberg floated to the surface and there was what looked like a small person and a giant beast inside of it. Katara then grabbed Sokka's boomerang and started hacking away at it. After few more swings it finally gave way and a giant light beam that went straight up came out of the iceberg along with the boy and the beast. But little did the two know that there was a Fire Nation boat with a banished and desperate prince, an old man, and a certain blonde. On that ship that just so happened to be on the lookout for the Avatar. Well, I'll be. Zuko, it might be your lucky day. Naruto, uncle, do you know what this means? That I won't be able to finish our game. That beam probably came from a very powerful energy source, and where else would you find that in the South Pole? Naruto, get the men ready, the wait is finally over. I'm on it. Zuko, it could just be the celestial lights. We've been down this road before and I don't want you to get overexcited over nothing. Please sit, how about you come and have some nice and calming jasmine tea? I don't need any calming tea. I need to capture the Avatar. Set a course for the light. Back at the iceberg. Sokka and Katara both find a dark spirit figure. Stop. Sokka yells at the figure. Then he would faint, leaving an airbender boy knocked out. Sokka, seeing this, would poke just for Katara to tell him to stop. On would then wake up to see Katara. And said. Come closer, I need to tell you something. Katara would do as he asked and then without hesitation he asked. Will you penguin sledding with me? Katara, confused, then said. Okay, sure. Aang then airbended himself to his feet. So what's going on here? You tell us. How did you get in the ice, and why are you frozen? I don't know. Aang then turned around towards the giant air bison, trying to get him to wake up. Which worked to Sokka and Katara's amazement. Sokka immediately hit Aang with another question. What is that thing? This is Appa, my flying sky bison. And this is Katara, my flying sister. So do you guys live around he? Don't answer that, Katara, he could be a Fire Nation spy. Oh yeah, you can really see the evil look in his eye. The paranoid one is my brother Sokka. What you name? You never really told us. Oh, my name is Aiaiahichu. Aang sneezes and rockets himself into the sky. Sokka, confused, would say. You just flew 10 feet in the air. Really, it felt higher. Katara finally realizing that Aang was an airbender. Look, light beams, giant bison airbending. I think I'm mad. I just want to go to bed. Then Sokka realized that he was trapped on an iceberg. If you guys don't mind, me and Appa can give you a lift. Sure, Katara said almost in yell due to her excitement. And after some extra argument, Sokka complied and got on Appa and started the long swim back to their village. At the Fire Nation ship, Naruto was talking to Zuko. Naruto, why did you want to talk? I wanted to talk because I believe you're in a bit over your head. I believe you're right about the Avatar being in the North Pole, but are you sure that your dad wanted you out of the way? If he really wanted to teach you a lesson, he wouldn't have banished you, would have maybe done the Anaikai that you know, but me and Iroh think you need to have a plan B. I know what I'm doing, Naruto, and I don't need to worry. My father will welcome me back, but only if we have the Avatar. Okay, Zuko, but remember, I will do what I have to do to protect you and Iroh. You two are not only family, but you, Zuko, are my best friends and first I ever had, even all the way through the academy. Naruto, you're a brother to me, and whatever you do I will trust you, and me are brothers more than we are cousins or friends. Okay, well, I'm going to bed. You could get some rest at Zuko. I can't sleep, not until the Avatar is mine. The next day, Iroh was leading the two young firebenders through a training exercise as usual. Zuko was still learning the basics with a few extra steps. And Naruto has already truly mastered the element, and only Iroh would be able to defeat him. This was the only reason he was able to stay with Iroh, otherwise he would have been put on the front lines in the Earth Kingdom at age 12. The Fire Lord knew that Iroh and Naruto would easily kill him if they had a just reason to. Thankfully, Iroh was glad that Ozai took the throne, because Iroh didn't have the gut to become the leader of a nation so cursed nation. After the third attempt that Zuko failed, he got another reminder from Iroh. Fire doesn't come from the breath, not the muscles, again yelled Iroh. The Avatar has had 100 years to master the 4 elements. I won't be able to defeat him with basic firebending. I need to. Naruto interrupted him. Yes, you will. I have a feeling that he is not as old as you think he is. Of course he is. Well, if. Just shut up and let me finish my training. Okay, just chill out. 2 hours later. Everyone in position, get ready for the fight of your lives. The ship's landing platform landed in the snow just to see a lone soldier running straight towards them and was quickly kicked out of the way by a single kick. That led him into the pile of snow that was just a wall 30 seconds ago. Zuko then walked down the ramp and asked where they were hiding the Avatar. Just then Naruto stepped in and said. Zuko, calm down, we're not here to hurt these people, we're here to bring peace, not terror. We are looking for Airbending Master, he is most likely over 100 or so years old. You will be rewarded if you tell us. Zuko then interrupted the blonde and said. Your reward will be living another day. Zuko, calm down. No, I'm done being calm, where is H? Aang then swept Zuko and Naruto of the ground, with Naruto landing on his feet and Zuko on his face. Zuko quickly got up. This is my fight. Everything I've worked for, meditated for, but you're just a kid. Aang then replied. Well, you're just a teenager. Out of anger, Zuko released a powerful blast of fire that was blocked by Aang. Seeing and hearing the villagers' cries of fear, Aang stopped. As soon as he did, he was taken down by a killer move from Naruto and taken down on the ground and handcuffed. Naruto, what the hell? What? I saw an opportunity and took it. Zuko then regained focus. Burn down the vil. He was interrupted by Aang. You can take me if you leave these people alone. Naruto, who was about to stop the fire, was furious that Zuko would do such a thing to such poor people. But he had a plan to get back at Zuko. I'll take the Avatar to his cell. Very well, take the staff to my quarters, it will make an excellent gift for my father. To taunt the Avatar, he said. You probably don't know much about father. Being raised by monks. Take him away. As soon as Naruto was out of everyone's sight, he said to the young Avatar. Aang, was it? Yeah, what do you care? I want to help you escape. I'm tired of Zuko saying that I'm his equal when he doesn't even think of me as one. All you need to know is that I don't believe in the Fire Nation's ideals, and the only reason I stayed in the Fire Nation was my father's hopes for me and his teachings. I'll give you a signal for when to escape, I'll get you staff from Zuko, and I'll meet you back here in a few minutes. If I'm found out I need you to escape, so I'm leaving the cell door open, don't let me down, okay? Naruto walked upstairs towards Zuko's room and took the staff from the mount above his mattress. As soon as he turned around, he saw his father standing, fully aware of what was going on. Iroh, I am sorry. Don't be, I know you and you are too kind-hearted to live life like this. Ever since I lost Lu-10, you have been the closest thing to a real son I could ever ask for, even though your personality was one I'd want everyone in the world to have. You were the perfect child and you still are. Zuko and Azusa are spoiled, they haven't seen the real war you have, and because of that you were determined to do what was right. And I just wish my late wife could see you now, or your aunt. They would be proud of who you are. I love you, my son. Naruto was speechless, he didn't know what to say except, I love you, Dad. Iroh smiled, this was the second time that he had called him Dad, the only thing Naruto called him was Father or Iroh. The first time he called Iroh Dad was accidental, but this time it was for real. Naruto ran down the stairs to the cell room to free Aang. When he got there, Aang was just sitting there waiting on Naruto to free him, and the time had finally come. Aang opened the cell, and the two got into a small escape bat and paddled away from the ship. About 5 minutes later, they saw a sky bison floating in the sky. Aang grabbed his staff and told Naruto to hold on tight and flew them to the sky bison. Sasuke jumped to his feet about throw his boomerang at the young blonde until Aang said, "Don't hurt him, he's on our side." Aang said to calm the two down. "Hold on, isn't he the guy that cuffed you?" Sasuke said in confusion. "My only wish is to help Aang defeat the Fire Lord, and I'm sorry for any trouble my nation has caused, and do know that half of the Fire Nation is against this war, including my father." "Okay, but Aang, why didn't you tell us that you were the Avatar?" "Because I never wanted to be." All four looked down at this. "Aang, where do you want to go first?" "Well, I think we should head to the northern air temp." "Aang, I don't think it's a good idea. The Fire Nation made damn sure to wipe out all of the airbender, trust me when I say there were no survivors." "What are you saying?" "Look, the chances of an airbender surviving the attacks on the air temples are less than 1%. It would probably be better if you didn't go, or it could provoke bad things inside, or activating the Avatar state, and if no one is around to stop you." "What? You could kill all three of us." "Okay, well, I have another idea that would be a good break from the Fire Nation." "Oh, and Naruto, if we do stop, let's get you into a change of clothes so no one thinks that you're here to destroy the world." "That's probably a good idea. Before I helped you escape from your cell, I stole a map before I heard footsteps and then left. We all need new clothes, but I don't have a whole lot of money, so we need to conserve it. I have about 48 silver pieces and 23 gold pieces, so about enough for some supplies and 4 pairs of clothes that we need to keep in a good condition and use just for infiltrating Fire Nation colonies and lands. Now that we have that out of the way," Aang said. "Who wants first app's watch shift?" "Aang, none of us know this stuff. Could you just fly us to some Earth Kingdom island and we can just sleep there?" "Okay, but in the morning we're heading towards actual towns." The next day is. They arrived on an island called Whale Tail Island and bought some new clothes for Naruto and Aang. Naruto wore a black cloak on top of brown pants and low black boots with a gray no-sleeve shirt. Aang would have a green shirt buttoned together and a brown head covering around his head to hide his arrow. After a lot of talking, Aang decided that he was ready to see the Southern Air Temple. And he wouldn't go into the Avatar state, so the four went to the Southern Air Temple and explored and found a Kemper which Aang named Momo. Naruto and Katara talked to Aang about it, and Aang was not angry enough to go into the Avatar state. Not part of the story, but I am sorry that the third episode part wasn't very long, but I don't think that you readers want to know all the unimportant details in that part. The next day he woke up and headed to Kyoshi Island to take a break and lay low for a few days. All because Aang wanted to ride the elephant koi, which Naruto wanted them to fly to the North Pole, but because he knew that the Avatar was just a kid he finally allowed it, and after a few days in the sky, they finally landed on Kyoshi Island. Okay, so it looks like we're just 20 minutes away from the island by my estimate at least. Hey Katara, look at this new airbending trick. That's great, Aang. But you're not even looking. Katara would look at him and say. That's great, Aang. But I'm not even doing it. Aang, don't bother girls while they're doing their sewing. What do you mean by girls doing sewing? Naruto, come on, you know. No, you got yourself into this one. I'm all done with your paints and look at what a great job I did. No Katara, I can't wear these, I'm sorry. Relax, Sokka, where we are going you won't need pants. Aang would then land Appa on the island. Aang striped down to his underwear and jumped straight into the water. Aang immediately jumped out of the water and yelled that the water was cold. Sokka looked at Katara and signaled that Aang was a bit crazy, and Naruto then said, I'll keep watch in case anyone comes near. And took a plant that was probably poisonous out of Appa's mouth. He was still wearing his fiery orange pants and black jacket and still had on his red headband, which made him look like a guy from the Fire Nation. He saw no one and returned to see Aang, Katara and Sokka on his butt. and Aang getting his clothes back on. Walking towards them. Hey, everyone is okay. Yeah, but some creature tried to eat me, Aang said. Well, what was it? I don't know, but let's leave before we have to find out. As soon as Sokka said this, Naruto heard a branch break and about 10 to 15 people jumped down and kidnap Aang, Katara and Sokka with ease, but Naruto was a bit harder to catch. He dodged the punches that the warriors were throwing. He knocked most of them out with a punch or two and hadn't had to use any firebending at all. There was only one left. She was a girl about 14 or so. He thought the girl was kind of cute, so he said, "If I surrender, could we go out later?" Suki surprised after hearing him say this. "Shut up, you Fire Nation spy, people like you are the reason the world is at war. First of all, I betray the Fire Nation to help the Avatar." "That's impossible, the Avatar is dead." Naruto then walked towards Aang and took of his blindfold and pointed at the arrow on his head. "See, Airbender, aka the Avatar, mind if I take you on that date now?" He then let Aang talk. Yeah, I'm the Avatar." "Prove it." Aang the Airbender rocks towards Suki. "Oh my god, you are the Avatar, I am sorry for kidnapping you and your friends. So about that date." Suki ignored him and woke the other girls up and untied the Water Tribe siblings. And brought them to the village. "Suki, what are you doing bringing these spies into our village?" "Don't worry, they are not spies, they are with the Avatar." The people started to talk with each other, wondering if what Suki had just said was true. Naruto got behind Suki and then said. "So about that date, can we do that tonight or tomorrow?" "How about never?" "Wow, that was harsh," Sokka said. "Nah, she likes me. She just can't stand that a firebender didn't have to firebend to defeat her little gang of warriors." Later. Sokka walked to the Kyoshi warrior training building. He was still embarrassed that a group of girls took him down with barely any effort, then he ran into Naruto. "Oh Naruto, let me guess the date you have with Suki." "Yeah, she owes me a date, or at least I owe her a date or something like that." At the Kyoshi warrior training building. "Hey Zuko, I hear the Avatar firebending teacher wants to take you on a date. If you don't want to, can I take him up on that?" "No, you can't." "So are you gonna take him up on it then?" "Well, no." "Then can I?" "No, I don't know." The girls were talking about it just to annoy their leader for fun, but Suki then said. "You know what, fine, it's just a date, what harm can it do?" All the girls started to tell Suki good luck. When Naruto walked in and asked where Suki was, all the girls immediately got out of the way and left her speechless. "Okay, so can I please take you on a date?" "Fine, I'll do it." She then trepidation to grab his collar but was stopped by Naruto. "Don't touch the collar please, these are good clothes and it would suck to have to repair these." Suki out of frustration kicked her leg out and it was caught by Naruto and he picked up Suki and put her back down. Suki just blushed and all the girls giggled at this. "So I'll pick up around sunset." "Sure, that's fine with me," Suki said, still in awe how Naruto caught the kick and blocked it with ease. At sunset, Suki was in a brown generic but very nice dress. Naruto was wearing what he wore all day but took of his headband and his clothes were cleaned. "You look good, Suki." Suki then looked at him with a blush because she was always working and was very quiet growing up and most boys thought she was weird, so hearing a compliment from a boy was very nice for her to hear. Now that she thought about what her ideal man was, but it was a guy that was about 6'0", a good warrior, could protect her, was rich, respected traditions, and the spirit's nice, romantic, funny, and loyal. As she got to know him, she realized how good of a person he was. Although he was a firebender, he was very nice and comforting, something Suki thought a firebender couldn't be. She learned of how Naruto was orphaned during the Battle of Ba Sing Se. And how he was raised as a Fire Nation royal, which caught her off guard. She learned of Iroh and how respective leaders of a man he was. After a couple of days they started hanging out regularly together and Naruto offered Suki to come with Katara and Sokka. "I know that Sokka asked you to train him. Maybe you could do that as well as be my girlfriend." "I would like to, but I have a duty to my village and if I don't respect it, then what would I do?" "How about this? I'll stay with you for a while and we'll meet up with Aang in the North Pole." "Okay, I'm fine with that. But you have to promise me you will not leave until that happens." "I can go pave them the map and we'll be okay." "Suki, Naruto, come quick, Fire Nation ships have arrived and are attacking our village." They ran to where the fighting was and saw the airbender face of Zuko by himself. Naruto ran towards Zuko to help Aang and blocked a fire kick from Zuko. Zuko, seeing the firebender for the first time since the North Pole, was angry. "Naruto, what are you doing?" "I'm doing what needs to be done." "So betraying the Fire Nation and bringing peace to the world is not." "The Fire Nation doesn't bring peace, it causes war. You need to wake up from whatever fantasy the Fire Nation has told you to. Look at these people. If you really wanted to bring peace, do you think that these people would fear you?" "Shut up, you know nothing. You were basically a prince and almost real family and you turned that down just to betray us. These people only fear us because they don't want peace. Who in their right mind hates peace? These people? No, they are scared of tyranny." Shut up, you know nothing. I know the real Zuko, the Zuko I knew before his banishment wouldn't do this. Zuko threw a fire blast right at Naruto, then the blonde would block it and start something that only a few fireenders were able to do. Lightning bending. It hit the ground right below his feet and sent him flying into the pole that held the wooden statue of Avatar Kyoshi. This would shock him as he had never been hurt by Naruto before. It gave him fear, but it also made him realize there was something here, that he loved someone he loved. But he wasn't sure. All of a sudden a girl about 14 ran towards Naruto's side. "Come on, let's get out of here," Suki said. "So she's what you're protecting? You never use bending first unless you have a motive, isn't that what Uncle Iroh taught you? And your motive is protecting her? Because you two are dating, it's probably good to tell you that he was part of the royal family. He was a prince adopted, but still a prince. He went to the Fire Academy and promised his father, the Dragon of the West, he would fight for the Fire Nation no matter what. Hat boy is nothing but a dirty traitor." Suki then looked at him saying, "I don't care what he said in the past, he deserves a second chance, and I already knew some of those things. He is still the same person." Zuko started crying. "Why? What? Why did you leave? You know why?" Naruto then grabbed Aang, who was watching the entire thing. "Can you teach me about lightning bending?" "Sure, how about when we're not running from the Fire Nation?" He grabbed Sokka and Katara. "We need to get to Appa and leave, or else Zuko will catch up to us and burn down this village." "Is Suki coming with us?" "I am now." "Okay." Finally another girl in the group. "Hey, that great. Aang, call Appa." "On it." "Appa? Wait. You just yell his name." "Yep, that's how it works." "Wow, I can't believe I thought it was more complicated than that." Appa then swooped down and all five jumped on the bison. "Let's get out of here." Aang looked at the village and took a deep breath. "Aang, don't you dare jump off." Aang then jumped right into the water. "Really?" About half a second later Aang came out of the water riding the Anagi. Anahi opened his mouth and spit out a huge amount of water onto the village and put out the fire almost completely. Aang then jumped off the beast and was caught by Appa for Aang to jump up and land on the bison. I know that was stupid and I shouldn't have taken the risk." "Yes it was," Katara said without hesitation. She then hugged Aang, leaving him with a happy grin on his face. The next few days were spent traveling on Appa, romance between Naruto and Suki. Eventually they arrived at Omashu. "Aang, what are we doing here? I used to come here all the time with my old friend Bumi." "Look Aang, I'm all for reliving memories, but are you sure this is a good idea? We're never gonna make it to the North Pole at this rate." "Okay fine, but the male chutes. What about them? They are the world's greatest slide system." "Really, that's why you brought us here, to go down a slide? What about getting to the North Pole?" "If you don't want to come with us then you can stay here." "I'm staying here. I'm gonna go find some food for us because we clearly don't have enough supplies for 5. Zuko then came into the conversation. "Well, I do need some new clothes. This dress isn't gonna be great to travel in." "Okay, well me and Suki will go shopping. You guys can have fun. And don't get into trouble." "Please, when have I ever gotten into trouble? How about every time we stop somewhere?" "Okay, but still we have never gotten captured. Without me you would be twice by Kurashio warriors and by Zuko, and you would probably be dead if it wasn't for me." They started walking down the bridge. "Don't worry guys, the people of Omashu are the friendliest in the whole." He was cut off by a guard yelling at a cabbage merchant. And launched the cart off the cliff, making the merchant start to cry. Then Aang, Naruto and Sokka and Zuko walked up. "State your business." "My business is my business, young man, and if you don't shut your trap I'll give you an ass whooping you'll never forget." "Calm down, old timer." Katara, Sokka and Suki were all trying not to laugh. But Naruto stepped forward before Aang could say anything else. "Hi, my name is Lu and my cousins, and this is my girlfriend, and this man is my uncle. We're just trying to escape from the Fire Nation and found that this would be the best city to live in for now until the war is over." "Okay young man, you look like a responsible person. Help keep your uncle out of trouble, okay?" "I will." As they were walking through, the guard grabbed Sokka. "You're a strong young man, hold your uncle's bag for him." "Good idea," Aang said. They walked through the gate and as the doors were closing 2 lemur ears popped out of Aang's wig. And the guard looked in shock. "Okay, we're gonna go shopping for some extra clothes for Suki so you all don't get into trouble." "Naruto, come here, look at this one. I think it's kind of cute." "Well, it definitely looks like something you would look good in." "You know, maybe we could get this too, it honestly looks kind of better." I mean I'd not know." "Okay, so how about I try it on?" "Hey, there's a changing room back there if you need it." Naruto walked up to the shop owner. "So how much for the top?" 20 silver pieces for pants, 25 for top, 7 for hats and headbands." "Hey ugh, I'll take the pants and some pants." "That would be 45 silver pieces." Naruto put the money on the counter. As soon as he saw this, he saw the cabbage merchant from earlier. And only a few seconds after that, he saw Katara and Sokka destroy the man's cart and was amazed that Aang would get into trouble right in front of him. They're getting themselves out of that one. After shopping around with Suki for about another hour, they were really bored. Or at least Suki was sightseeing because she had never seen a city before. She was just used to her village on Kyoshi. And Naruto then said, "How about we get a hotel room and hang out there?" "Ugh, sure, but I've never been to a hotel before. Do we just stay there or?" "We just stay there." "Okay." They walked to the hotel together holding hands, and Suki and Naruto relished that this was the closest to a normal life they had ever been. When they got to the hotel, they paid for the room and went up. When they arrived at their room, they collapsed onto the bed. They both were happy to finally lay down on a bed for the first time in a week and finally were relaxed. They fell asleep. The next day Naruto got out of bed. "Ugh, I guess we fell asleep. Well, I'll check on Appa. The gang is probably looking for us." "Suki, get up, we need to go." "I'll get out of bed, just hold on." Naruto then picked up Suki and started walking to the door. "Put me down, I just wanna take a little longer." "No. We have to get back to Appa, the gang is probably looking for us." Naruto put Suki down. "Fine, let me get my stuff." Naruto waited for a couple of minutes and finally Suki was ready to go. "Okay, I'm ready." "Finally." "Naruto, the exit is that way. We have to check out of the room before we go." "Oh, my bad." "You're fine, you can wait outside, I'll check us out." "Okay." After a few more minutes he finally checked them out and they left the city. As they got to the exit they saw Katara and Sokka. "So how did your little adventure go?" "It went well," Aang said with a grin. "Okay, just don't get arrested next time." "How did you know?" "You fell right in front of us." "Oh." Katara and Suki were talking behind them. "So how was your first private night together?" We just got to a hotel and fell asleep. We didn't do anything else." "Oh well, this is kind of awkward." "No, you're fine. It's just I don't really know how to do that stuff. I have been training to be a Kyoshi warrior my entire life, so I'm not really stream smart or romantic in any way." "Oh, okay. I wonder what the boys are talking about. Probably bending or what we're gonna do next." Probably Sokka and Naruto are always trying to get Aang to focus on getting to the North Pole, but Aang just wants to have fun. "Yeah, I guess you're right." A week later. "Those clouds look so soft, don't they? Like you could just fall down and land on a soft fluffy heap." "Maybe you should try it." "Oh, you're hilarious, Sokka." "I'll try." "Woohoo-ya," Aang yelled. "Really, Aang?" Naruto said. "It turns out clouds are made of water." He then blew the water off of him and getting Momo all wet. "Hey, what is that?" The rest of the gang looked at what she was looking at. "It's like a scar," Sokka said. They flew down and looked around. "Hear that it's completely quit." "This was the Fire Nation's doing," Naruto said. "Those evil savages make me sick." Circa. Naruto slapped Sokka in the face. "Hello, Firebender, right here." "Sorry, I mean." SHHHHH. Aang fell to his knees. "How could anyone do this? How could I let this happen?" "Aang, you didn't let this happen, it has nothing to do with you." "Yeah, Aang, it's not your fault." Suki and Katara said to help Aang out. "That's why we're going to the North Pole, to find you a teacher." "Yeah, a waterbending teacher. Not a teacher on how to be a better avatar." Monk Gyatso said that Avatar Roku would help me along the way of my journey. "The avatar that died over 100 years ago. How is he supposed to help you?" Naruto answered. "Most avatars have had the ability to talk with their past lives in the spirit world. How is Aang supposed to do that?" Suki. "I don't know." Aang and Naruto answered. A few minutes later Katara walked up to Aang. "Hey Aang, ready to be cheated up?" "No." Katara chucked an acorn at Aang's head. "Ow, how is that supposed to cheer me up?" "It cheered me up," Sokka said, just to get an acorn thrown at him by Katara. "I deserve that," Sokka said sadly. "You really do." Naruto agreed. "Aang, these acorns mean that the forest will grow back and some of these will be tall oak trees one day." "I guess you're right." The man walked up to the gang. "Who are you?" "When I saw the flying bison I didn't believe it, but when I saw those markings I knew it was true." "Yes, he is the avatar." Naruto interrupted. "My village desperately needs your help, is in grave danger." They walked towards the village and arrived in. "This young boy is the avatar." "So the rumors are true. It is an honor to be in your president presence." "It's nice to meet you too. So what do you need help with?" "I don't know. Our village is in danger and he is our only hope. The last few days at sunset he destroys the village and abducts one of our own. We're especially worried because it is almost the winter solstice." Naruto then relished what they were talking about. "Which means that the people that were abducted will be trapped until the summer solstice." "Exactly. And how better to solve a crisis between spirits and humans than the avatar? After all, he is the bridge between the two worlds." Hey bridge guy, can we talk with you for a minute? Katara asked. You look unsure about this. Well, I have never really known a lot about spiritual matters. Both Katara and Sokka looked at him. But it's not like I have anyone that can teach me this stuff. He is not wrong, I'm the closest thing to a spirit guide that we have got, and I only know a bit of the basics. My father traveled to the spirit world and fears the spirits. Their attention turned back to Aang. I need to do this on my own. You can do it, Aang, I believe in you. Yeah, we're all gonna get eaten by a spirit monster. Half an hour later at sundown. Ugh, hello, spirit, can you hear me? I'm the Avatar, I'm here to try to help stuff. The sun is set, where are you, Hibe? Okay then, spirit, I ask to please leave this village in peace. Okay, I guess that is settled then. Naruto was not so convinced that Hibe would just let them pass. That was too easy, he is going to be here any minute. As soon as Naruto said this, a giant black and white spider-looking creature appeared dead. Then Aang turned around. You must be the Hibe spirit. Back at the town hall. The Avatar's tactics are very usual. Don't worry, he'll be fine. Aang was then slapped out of the air. That's it. No, Sokka, let me, it's better if I go. Naruto ran out and Sokka followed right after Naruto jumped. No, you idiot, get back inside. Sokka ignored him. Hey Hibe, take this. He threw his boomerang at the spirit and it hit him in the back. The spirit turned around and immediately grabbed Sokka and ran off. Naruto and Aang chased after Sokka for about 10 minutes until they were grabbed Sokka and they disappeared. Naruto and Aang woke up. What happened I don't know, but let's head back to the village. Maybe Sokka escaped. They walked back to the village. Katara, I'm sorry we couldn't help him. But she didn't hear Aang. Naruto looked at his hands. Oh crap. Aang, we're spirits. What do you mean? Look. Naruto went through a firebending stance and tried to bend. We can't bend, that must mean we're in the spirit world. Ugh, how the heck are we spirits? Abe must have put us here. Ugh, Roku, why can't I have your help? All of a sudden a dragon appeared coming straight at them. Ugh, Naruto, what's that? It's Avatar Roku's spirit animal. Wait, what? Naruto then bowed down to the creature when he arrived to his destination in front of the Avatar. Aang did the same thing, and then Aang asked, so if you're Roku's spirit animal, can you show us how I can talk to Roku? The dragon signaled for them to hop on his back so he could show them. As the dragon flew by, a few earthbenders were walking on ostrich horses. With Naruto's father as a prisoner. Father. Naruto. They looked at each other for a second and both smiled. Then the dragon flew for a few hours and finally arrived at a crescent-shaped island with a temple on it. The two flew into the roof, which Aang screaming, and arrived at the room of Avatar Roku. But this is just a statue of Roku, how Ami supposed to? The solstice, it probably activates Roku's statue or something. But what does he want to talk about? The dragon showed Naruto and Aang a vision of a comet. Sazan's comet. But I need to speak to Roku now and save Sokka. The dragon flew the two back to their bodies and back to the physical world. Ah, back in the physical world. Now let's get back to the village. Okay, let's hurry. When they got back to the village, it was sundown. They're back. Suki said with excitement. Where is Sokka? Katara asked. We don't know. Aang answered. Aang waited outside the gates for a bit and turned back. Hibe appeared. Wait, you're the spirit of the forest, no wonder you're angry because your home was burned down, but don't worry, my friend gave me hope, these acorns mean that the forest will fully grow back. The beast turned back into its original form, a panda, and walked back into the forest, and Bamboo appeared along with the kidnapped civilians and Sokka. Sokka, the gang yelled. What happened? You were trapped in the spirit for 24 hours, how do you feel? Like seriously, I need to use the restroom. Thank you, Avatar, how can we ever repay you? You could give us some supplies and money. Sokka. Katara looked at him angrily. What, we need stuff. We would be honored to help you on your journey. I'm proud of you, Aang, you did it all on your own. Hey, what about me? Naruto said. Oh yeah, and you to Naruto. Well, there is something. Sazan's comet is coming. It is a comet that comes every 100 years and gives firebenders unbelievable power, just like a eclipse ails away bending. Wait, a solstice takes away firebending. Yeah, you guys probably should know that. But we need to get a crescent-shaped island in the, wheel, Fire Nation. Come on boy, we need to go. Look, I'm sorry but the others aren't coming with us, I would never forgive myself if they got hurt. Now move, get your big butt off the ground, and let's go. I think his big butt is trying to tell you something. I'm sorry but I have to go to the Fire Nation to listen to Roku. Aang, I'm from the Fire Nation, it would probably help to have me along. Naruto said. Plus we're not letting you go to the Fire Nation, Katara added. At least not without you friends. Sokka finished, we've got your back. Apple licked Sokka. Buwa. Suki then said. It's a long way, we need to travel fast. Yes, now here are some supplies, now go. Thank you for your. Buo. The governor interrupted. 3 hours later. Okay, we're entering Fire Nation territory, so be ready. Suki said. We've got a long way to go, boy, faster. Aang yelled. Appa groaned. Hey guys, we've got a problem. What? The blockade? Naruto asked. Yeah, a big one. Aw crap. If we fly north then we can avoid the blockade. There's no time, we have to fly through it. Katara said. Let's run this blockade. Sokka said. Zuko, you're dead if you follow us. Naruto thought. Fireballs flew up and hit each other left and right. Appa did his best to dodge the fireball, and two hit each other right in front of the bison. Fire flew onto the bison. Naruto put out the flames, and Appa felt better. Are you okay, boy? Aang asked. Appa groaned again and nodded, showing that he was okay. Appa kept dodging the fireballs, and after one dodge Sokka almost fell off, but Suki grabbed his hand and she also fell off, so Naruto grabbed Suma's hand and pulled both of them back down. The final fireball was flung at and Aang split the boulder in half with airbending. Naruto looked back at Zuko. You better have saved my father, otherwise you're dead. About 5 hours later then arrived. Oh, you must be tired. No, I'm good, actually refreshed and ready to beat up some firebenders. I was talking to Appa. Well, I was to Naruto. You do know I'm a firebender, right? Ugh, yeah, my bad. They ran into the temple and we're trying to not be caught, but then they saw a group of firebenders. We are the fire sages, guardians of the temple of the Avatar. Great, I am the Avatar, we know. We know. 2 of the fire sages sent a blast right at them. Run, Aang yelled. This way. You don't know where you're going, do you? Nope. Not this way. Wait, come back. The gang ran into a dead end. Naruto turned around ready to fight. Wait, I'm a friend. Firebenders aren't our friends. Sokka, I'm standing right here, I'm a goddamn firebender too. I know why you are here, Avatar. You do? You're here to speak with Avatar Roku, I can get you there. How? The fire sages grabbed a lamp and turned it and showed a door, and using firebending, he opened the door. Hurry through here. The gang ran through the door. Avatar Roku made these passages ways when he built the temple. Did you know, Roku? No, but my grandfather did. After walking for a while and finally arrived at the door of the sanctuary. No. What wrong? The doors are closed. And you just opened them with firebending. No, only a fully realized avatar or 5 simultaneous fire blast can open them. 5 fire blasts. I have an idea, my dad gave me this idea, fake firebending. This just might work. The others will hear the explosion, so as soon as it opens, go inside. When they blew up, Aang ran and tried to open the door, but it didn't work. It didn't work. Why won't it open? Aang, calm down. I have an idea, I think I could open it. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Okay, everyone get back. Naruto did a kind of dance. The dance of the Sun Warriors. Ju said. He blasted the biggest blast of fire he had ever seen, and the door opened. Hurry, run inside. Naruto fell down and coughed up blood. Panda picked up Naruto and ran inside. Well, hold them off, Sokka said. You two go inside. Suki ran to Naruto's side. Babe, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm going in with you. No, stay out here. You need to stay out here and protect the doors. You guys go PT this, I know it. Okay, if you're sure. The doors closed and Suki, Sokka and Katara hid Ju, then also hid. When the fire sages arrived, the leader asked, where in the hell is Ju? Just then Suki dropped in and knocked out the leader of the fire sages. Ju grabbed one of them by the wrist and tackled him. Sokka and Katara grabbed the remaining 2 and also detained them. Zuko then appeared. I see my cousin and the Avatar are already inside. Well, then I guess we'll have to wait for them. Just then the doors started to glow. Why isn't anything happening? Cough. I think we need to be. Cough. Patient Aang. Okay, I hope so. Hey, my hands are healing fast. What, how? I don't know. After a few seconds. A statue was completely red. And Avatar Roku appeared. It's good to see you, Aang and Naruto. What took you 2 so long? I have something very important to tell both of you. That's why I sent my dragon to find you 100 years ago. Firelord Sazin used that comet to wipe out the Air Nation, and I have no doubt that Ozai will also use it to wipe out more people. So when will it arrive? It will return by the end of the summer, and if you don't stop him before then the world will be thrown out of balance completely. And Naruto, before you were born, your grandmother, my wife, held a great spirit and she passed it on to your mother, my niece Kushina, and she passed it on to you before she died. That beast has its own Kai, and Master Pinga can bring you unbelievable power. Its name is Nine Tails or Kurama, the fox spirit of the Fire Nation. Its power is almost as much as the Avatar's when fully mastered. You will need to take a few months off before going to the North Pole to meditate and improve your relationship with your power. Aang, you must defeat the Fire Lord before the comet arrives, and Naruto, you must teach Aang firebending and master the fox spirit inside of you. On mastering the elements is a journey that can take years, but if the world is to survive, you must do it by summer's end. What if I fail? I know you can do it, you have done it before, and you can do it again. What if the beast is released? Then the entire world could be at risk. The solstice is ending, we must go our separate ways for now. To face the threat outside the doors, you can face the threat, but only if you are ready. I'm ready. The doors opened and Avatar Roku appeared. Joe yelled. Fire all you've got. He started to bring down the entire temple. Roku will bring down the entire temple, we need to get out of here. Not without Naruto. Suki stated. Or Aang. Katara added. After everyone fled, Aang fell to the ground and was caught by Naruto. Are you guys okay? Sokka asked. We're fine. Naruto said. Where is you? Aang asked. I don't know, he ran away. Suki answered. Let's get out of here, Naruto said. Appa flew to the balcony and the gang jumped on. The next day. Aang, calm down and sit down, if we hit a bump you'll go flying off. Naruto said. What's bothering you anyway? Sokka asked. I'm supposed to master all 4 elements by the end of the summer and the comet arrives. Well, let's see, you mastered airbending and that only took you 112 years, I'm sure you'll be fine. I haven't even started waterbending and we're still weeks away from the North Pole. If it's okay, I can teach you some of the moves I know. You do that. We need some water source to use. Maybe we can find a puddle for you to splash in. They found a waterfall and flew down. Nice puddle. Appa dove straight and Aang stripped down. Don't start without me, boy. Aang, remember why you here. Oh yeah, time to practice waterbending. Naruto then came out from behind the trees in a swimsuit about the size of boxers. Well, I'm going for a swim, Suki, want to join me? Yeah. She wiped her nose of any blood that could have been there and then she turned red, relishing that she had to strip down as well. Suki went into the trees and striped down and came out of the trees and got into the water. Where is Naruto? Sokka pointed down and Suki looked down to see Naruto meditating under the water with his six-pack glistening from the reflection of the sun through the water. She instantly thought of some adult fantasies. She swam down and decided to join him in his meditation. In Naruto's mindscape. Where are you, Ninetales? I'm right behind you. He turned around to see an orange cell and hiding behind the bars was a giant orange fox. Hashirama fox peered. Shut up, human, I know you just want to use me for my kai. Actually, I was told to improve the relationship between you and the human race, so I'm gonna do just that and I want to be friends. I don't give a shit what you want. What about what I want? I want to be free. Okay, then let's start with a better mindscape. He snapped and the mindscape was instantly nice and the cage was gone. What? I don't want you to feel like a prisoner and I want you to be as free as possible. What is this manipulative attempt to control me? It's failing. Please, I don't want to control you. Please listen to me. No, shut the hell up, human. Fine, I leave. When Naruto woke up it was night and he was at the bottom of the pond, still Suki was gone and so was Aang and Katara. Naruto's clothes were still there and he saw Katara slowly walking to the pond holding a scroll and practicing water bending. Naruto, you were still down there, I thought you were asleep. What are you doing? I'm practicing waterbending. Katara, look out behind you. Naruto sent a fire blast more powerful than he thought it would be, but it felt great. Katara fell down and grabbed the scroll. Katara, get the rest of the gang up, I'll hold them off. Zuko, how are you doing? Naruto, you know that I need the Avatar to restore my honor. Do you remember what I told you that day? I will do whatever I have to protect you and my father. Well, you lied about that. No, Fire Lord Ozai doesn't want you as his son, he wants you as a dead body. He doesn't love you, he sees you as a pawn. Shut up, I know he loves me as a son. Well, I'll be damned if that ever happens. GGRRRR, shut up. Zuko threw fire blast after fire blast, sending nothing but hate his way. Appa then flew down and Naruto fire blasted the ground, sending him flying in the air and was caught by Appa and they flew out of there. Katara, while Zuko was getting mad, I saw this on his belt. He was holding a necklace with a blue collar and light blue carving. My grandma's necklace, thank you, Naruto. No problem. Can I get a hug? Fine. Katara hugged Naruto as he gave her the necklace. You're just lucky I finished meditating when I did. Yeah, I guess you're right. Guys, I need to leave the group for a while. I'll meet you guys to the North Pole, but I need to get there on my own and I'll just take Zuko's ship. What? But Naruto, don't leave, please let me come with you. Suki said. Fine, you and me can go to the North Pole and we'll do it on our own. Drop us on the boat that was empty because the prince's crew and the pirates were fighting Beckuous, they both lost all they had. So Naruto and Suki landed on the boat and took the Fire Nation boat down the river and then they were set off on their journey to the North Pole. For 3 weeks they were on the sea with great supplies and tons of noodles that Naruto made ramen with. Suki was sick of ramen, and Naruto never stopped eating it when they arrived. Naruto had had about a week and a half of meditating time in the 3 weeks of traveling. Suki and Naruto started sleeping together after about 2 days at sea. So and Naruto were more connected than ever before chemistry-wise. When they arrived in the North Pole, the soldiers froze the rudders, so the ship couldn't move until they realized that Naruto was not Fire Nation and that the Avatar was on his way to the North Pole as well. So the chief assigned Suki as Yu's bodyguard and Naruto as a general until further notice and put him in charge of the afternoon shift on the scouts. A few days later, Naruto had seen a giant bison, meaning that Aang had finally arrived and the end of the first part of the story had come. Aang, Katara, Sokka and Appa were soaring through the skies, their journey to the North Pole well underway. However, fatigue and impatience began to take their toll on the group. "I don't want to be mean, but can't Appa fly any faster?" Sokka grumbled, his frustration evident. The mischievous thought crossed Aang's mind. "How about we all climb on your back, Appa, and you take us to the North Pole in a flash?" he suggested, a playful glint in his eyes. "I'd love that," Sokka exclaimed, his adventurous spirit rekindled. Amidst their banter, Momo, the lemur, sensed their restlessness and leaped onto Appa, joining their conversation. The group laughed, finding solace in the little creature's carefree antics. Katara intervened, her voice calming their impatience. "Look, you two, calm down. We're just cranky because we've been flying for 2 days straight. We'll find the North Pole soon enough. Patience." Sokka sighed, realizing the truth in her words. "Yeah, you're right. I guess I'm just eager to get there. But what if there's nothing up there? What if we're flying for nothing?" Before anyone could respond, a sudden disturbance startled them. A massive pillar of ice emerged from the frigid waters, latching onto Appa's foot and dragging him down. Panic seized the group until they noticed a shirtless blonde-haired boy in a grey wolf suit walking onto the deck of a Fire Nation boat. Beside him stood a brown-haired girl in a blue coat, emanating a sense of quiet confidence. "Took you guys long enough," the boy said, grinning. "Naruto? Is that you?" Aang exclaimed, his eyes widening in surprise. Katara and Sokka joined in, their voices filled with excitement. The girl smiled and introduced herself, and Suki. "I love your gown," said Katara. "Made it myself." "I didn't know you could sew," Sokka remarked, impressed. "Well, I kinda had to in my village," Suki replied, her tone filled with pride. Aang, eager to continue their journey, spoke up. "Now let's get going." Naruto signaled for the waterbenders to open the gates, and as the snow and ice fell, water rose, creating a path that allowed them to enter the Northern Water Tribe. "I can't believe how many waterbenders they have up here," Sokka marveled, his eyes wide with amazement. Katara reassured him, "Don't worry, Sokka. We'll find a waterbending teacher without any problems." As they glided through the river, spectators lined the banks, applauding the young Avatar's arrival. Among the crowd, Naruto spotted a familiar face. "Morning, Princess Yua." "Happy birthday," Naruto greeted a young woman with a radiant smile. "Thank you, Naruto." "Good morning to you too," Princess Yua replied, her eyes sparkling with joy. Sokka, intrigued, asked, "Wow, who is she?" Naruto explained, "That's Princess Yua. There's a party tonight to celebrate her 16th birthday. It's a special occasion because she's now of marrying age and the entire tribe council is invited." Later that night, the grand celebration began. Princess Yua's birthday and the arrival of the Avatar were all people were talking about. Later that night, the grand hall of the Northern Water Tribe was bathed in an ethereal glow as the festivities commenced. The arrival of the Avatar and his companions from the Southern Tribe, coupled with the celebration of Princess Yua's 16th birthday, filled the air with a palpable sense of excitement. King Arnuk, a wise and dignified figure, stood before the assembly, his voice commanding attention. "Tonight, we gather to honor our brothers and sisters from the Southern Tribe who have graced us with their presence and brought us the Avatar, a beacon of hope. We also celebrate Princess Yua's 16th birthday, a milestone in her journey as a young woman. Let us invoke the protection of the great ocean and moon spirits during these troubled times." Princess Yua stepped forward, her graceful poise reflecting her regal upbringing. "Thank you, Father," she expressed with gratitude, her voice carrying a blend of reverence and joy. The crowd raised their glasses in unison, a symphony of chimes echoing through the hall. "To unity and the protection of our people," they intoned, offering a heartfelt toast. The festivities kicked into high gear as Master Paku and his students, adept waterbenders, took to the stage. Their movements were fluid, a mesmerizing display of artistry and power. The crowd watched in awe as the water seemed to come alive, forming intricate shapes and patterns, telling stories of bravery and triumph. Amidst the performance, Suki, Princess Yua's trusted bodyguard, remained ever vigilant, her sharp eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of danger. The responsibility weighed on her, but she carried it with unwavering dedication. As the performance drew to a close, Yu, the daughter of the moon spirit, sought a moment of respite. Her eyes fell upon Sokka, a southern water tribe warrior with a charming yet slightly bumbling demeanor. She approached him with an air of grace and curiosity. "Hey there, Sokka," you greeted him, a gentle smile playing on her lips. Sokka's heart skipped a beat as he found himself face to face with the captivating princess. "Southern Water Tribe represent," he responded, a mix of excitement and nervousness coloring his voice. "Very nice to meet you, Princess Yu." Yu's laughter danced in the air, its melodic quality drawing Sokka further into her presence. "So, you're a princess, huh?" he teased, hoping to impress her with a touch of self-assuredness. Sokka puffed up his chest, trying to maintain his composure. "Well, you know, back in the southern tribe, I'm kind of like a prince myself," he declared, a mischievous glimmer in his eyes. Katara, always quick to tease her brother, couldn't resist chiming in. "Prince of what, Sokka?" she interjected, unable to contain her amusement. Sokka's bravado wavered for a moment, his mind racing to come up with a response. Well, you know a lot of things," he replied, desperately attempting to salvage his claim. "Now, if you don't mind, I'm trying to have a conversation here." Yu's laughter bubbled forth once more, mingling with the joyous atmosphere. "My apologies, Prince Sokka," she said playfully, humoring his whimsical declaration. A wave of pride washed over Sokka, his chest swelling with delight. "Apology accepted, Princess Yu," he responded, a wide grin spreading across his face. As the night wore on, Sokka and Yu continued their animated conversation, finding common ground and Naruto started laughing. "Sokka, now I get why you were asking me so many questions about it. Warning you, princess, he is a zombie-brained wimp but will probably be dedicated." "Naruto, please just go," Sokka replied, slightly embarrassed. "Alright, if you need relationship advice, I've got you covered," Naruto said, chuckling. "So, like I was saying," Sokka continued, "do an activity together, do an activity." Sokka then grabbed a bunch of fried crab sticks and shoved them in his mouth. "Very smooth," Katara added teasingly. Later that night, Naruto approached Sokka. "Oh, by the way, I'd start carving a necklace." "What? Why?" Sokka asked curiously. "Yu is a princess who just turned 16, which means she has to pick a husband in 48 hours. Usually, they receive a carved necklace as a proposal gift," Naruto explained. "I see," Sokka nodded, understanding the significance. "Well, I'll help you in the morning when I have to get home before Suki gets mad at me again." "Okay, see you later," Sokka replied, eager to start working on the necklace. Naruto went back to his tent, where Suki was already asleep. He tried not to wake her up, but as he lifted the sheet, she woke up and looked at Naruto. Sokka stayed up all night and the next morning he went to Princess Yu. "Hey Princess Yu, good morning, your dad really knows how to throw a party," Sokka said while blushing. "I'm glad you enjoyed yourself," Yu said. "Well, it wasn't as fun after you left. This made you blush. Okay, meet me on the bridge tonight. And Naruto told me that you have like a day to pick a husband, please wait until tomorrow because Iroh." Sokka fell into the water which made Yu laugh, almost tipping her boat over. "Sorry," Yu said. "It's okay, it was worth it," Sokka said happily. Chapter 5. Bond strengthened. In the spirit oasis, Naruto found himself in deep meditation, connecting with his inner self and the nine-tailed fox, Kurama. As he entered his mindscape, a foggy landscape with grey metal walls greeted him. Naruto took a moment to compose himself before addressing Kurama. "Hello, Kurama," Naruto greeted calmly. Kurama scoffed, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Ahahaha, has the blonde-haired brat come back for more help?" Naruto remained resolute. "Yes, I have, and I've come to a conclusion that you and I need to be friends." Kurama erupted into laughter. "Friends? Hahaha. I've been controlled by your grandparents, your mother, and now you want to be friends. I've been nothing but a burden and a curse. Your great-great-grandfather Hashirama put me in this wretched prison. Kyoshi wasn't even the avatar yet and now you want me to be your friend. That is the stupidest bullshit I have ever heard." Undeterred, Naruto replied, "Well, don't be mad when I use your chakra to win a fight." Kurama's fury flared and he lashed out in pain. "Trust me, you won't be able to." Before he could finish his sentence, the orange gate reappeared, sealing Kurama's words. "Let me go, you dumbest brat." Kurama's voice echoed in agony. Naruto remained resolute. "The more you squirm, the more it hurts, and I don't want to hurt you. Just trust me." As Naruto awakened from his meditation, he realized that it was already sundown. Determined to continue his journey, he paddled his canoe toward the hut he shared with Suki, located next door to Ong, Katara, and Sokka's hut. Upon reaching their hut, Naruto quietly entered to find Suki already asleep. He didn't want to disturb her, but as he lifted the sheet, she woke up and looked at Naruto with sleepy eyes. "Hey," Naruto whispered, trying not to wake her fully. "I'm back." Suki smiled, still half asleep. "Welcome back, Naruto. How was your meditation?" Naruto shrugged, his eyes reflecting a mix of determination and uncertainty. It was intense, to say the least. I had a conversation with Kurama again. Suki sat up, her curiosity piqued. What did he say this time? He's reluctant, as always, Naruto replied with a sigh. But I believe we can find common ground and turn our adversarial relationship into something more constructive. Suki's gaze softened as she reached out and held Naruto's hand. I trust you, Naruto. If anyone can find understanding with Kurama, it's you. Naruto squeezed her hand, feeling a surge of warmth and gratitude. Thank you, Suki. Your support means the world to me. Leaning closer, Suki planted a gentle kiss on Naruto's cheek. We're in this together, Naruto. No matter what challenges we face, I'll always be by your side. Naruto's heart swelled with affection and determination. With Suki's unwavering support, he felt emboldened to confront the trials that awaited them. Together, they would navigate the complexities of their individual journeys and forge a stronger bond in the face of adversity. As they settled back into bed, their hands entwined, Naruto couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. With Suki's love and their shared determination, they were ready to face whatever lay ahead, united in their purpose and fueled by the strength of their connection. Before going home to his girlfriend he would check on how they were doing, but only Sasuke was there, happily asleep. Naruto went over and shook him. Oh, we can't shake the bed too much, Princess you. Sasuke mumbled. Naruto started to laugh. He tried to hold it in, but he couldn't. It was just too funny. As soon as he started laughing, Sasuke woke up. He looked around just to see Naruto holding in a laugh. What happened? So you want to shake the beds with you? Sasuke didn't know what he was talking about. Then he recalled his dream. Ugh, please don't tell anyone about that. So how did the date go? Naruto asked. Well, Princess Yu told me that her dad cancelled a marriage arrangement between a friend of his. So now Yu is now open to marriage. Naruto interrupted. Well yeah, but I was thinking more dates because. Sasuke, you don't know how it works. You get like 2 or 3 dates, then you propose to the girl. Okay, I'll start carving, said Sasuke. Naruto went back to his tent where Suki was already asleep. He tried not to wake her up, but as he lifted the sheet, she woke up and looked at Naruto. Hey, babe, sorry, I was meditating in the spirit oasis again, so when I woke up, it was night, Naruto explained. That's okay, please cuddle with me. I'm really cold, Suki requested. How could I say no? Naruto smiled. He took off his clothes and got into bed, cuddling up next to Suki. He used his firebending to warm them both, creating a comfortable and warm atmosphere. This was why Suki couldn't sleep without Naruto anymore. Whenever they were together, it was always nice and cozy. The next day, Naruto woke up to find it still dark outside. He went to wake up Sasuke, who had been working on the necklace. What time is it? Sasuke asked, groggily. It's 5 o'clock. You're going to work on this necklace and give it to you today, okay? Naruto instructed. Okay, but I have to be back here by whenever they wake up, Sasuke replied. You start working on it. I'll wake up Suki and see if she can help us get you in the right place at the right time, Naruto suggested. 3 hours later, everything was ready. Sasuke had finished the necklace and put it in a wooden box. Naruto gave the box to Sasuke, who carefully put it in his pocket, and they headed to Yu's location. When they arrived, Yu was there, waiting. Sasuke nervously approached her and said, Hey, Princess Yu, good morning. Your dad really knows how to throw a party. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, Yu replied, blushing slightly. Well, it wasn't as fun after you left, Sasuke confessed, making Yu blush. Okay, meet me on the bridge tonight, Yu said, her voice filled with anticipation. Naruto told me that you have like a day to pick a husband, so please wait until tomorrow, because Sasuke's sentence was cut off as he accidentally fell into the water, causing Yu to burst into laughter. Sorry, Yu apologized, still giggling. It's okay. It was worth it, Sasuke said happily, his embarrassment. Naruto and Suki sat atop the Water Tribe Palace, enjoying a peaceful moment together. Suki leaned against Naruto, her eyes closed in contentment, while Naruto held a bowl of noodles in his hands. The tranquility was shattered when black snow and ash began to fall from the sky, causing Naruto to drop the bowl in shock. Suki, get up. We need to find Aang, Naruto urgently exclaimed. Suki opened her eyes, sensing the seriousness in his voice. What is it? She asked, rising to her feet. The Fire Nation has arrived in the Water Tribe, Naruto replied, a sense of urgency in his tone. Panic spread through the people as news of the invasion spread. Some rushed to the palace, seeking answers and guidance. King Arnuk, his voice heavy with sorrow, addressed his family and subjects gathered before him. The day we have feared for a long time has come. The Fire Nation's navy is at our doorstep. It is with a heavy heart that I gather you here, knowing that some of our loved ones may vanish from our tribe, but they will never vanish from our hearts. As we face this battle for our existence, may the spirits of the moon and ocean be with us. I call for volunteers for a dangerous mission. Without hesitation, Naruto stepped forward. "Count me in," he declared with unwavering determination. The king cautioned them, "Be warned, some of you may not return. Come forward and receive my mark." As Naruto approached the front, he couldn't help but notice the look Sokka exchanged with Yu. Naruto sensed the unspoken fear and longing between them, realizing the weight of the situation. Tears welled up in Yu's eyes, knowing that Sokka might not return from this perilous mission. With the women and children seeking refuge, Chief Arnuk, Aang, Katara and Naruto gathered to discuss their next move. "There's a quiet dread in the air," Aang lamented, his voice filled with concern. Naruto's determination burned brightly. "I wasn't there when the Fire Nation attacked my people. I'm going to make a difference this time," he vowed. Aang's eyes lit up with a glimmer of hope. "I have a little spirit world trick up my sleeve this time, Naruto. You and I should go on the offense," he suggested. "I agree," the chief interjected, seeing the potential in their plan. As the men prepared for battle, they kept a vigilant watch for any sign of the Fire Nation. Suddenly, a giant flaming ball hurtled towards them, crashing into the walls of the Water Tribe. Aang and Naruto leaped onto Appa, soaring into the skies to confront the imminent threat. "Hey, Aang, remember how Roku told us about the spirit inside me?" Naruto began, his voice filled with anticipation. Aang nodded, curiosity piqued. "Yeah, why?" Naruto's eyes gleamed with excitement as he transformed his black cloak into a red cape and red eyeliner appeared. "Check this out," he exclaimed. Naruto's appearance underwent a startling change as his cloak turned red and his eyes became orange with black crossed patterns. "I call this Age Mode, and with the power of the spirit inside me," Naruto revealed. The two friends landed on the first Fire Nation ship, with Naruto delivering a devastating blow, obliterating the ship's trebuchet with a single punch. Aang effortlessly destroyed the other trebuchet. Naruto unleashed a torrent of fire, consuming the entire crew, while the waterbenders captured those who jumped into the water. After hours of fighting, Naruto and Aang landed Appa in front of the Northern Palace, and Katara, Yu and Suki ran to greet them. As Naruto and Aang landed Appa in front of the Northern Palace, they were greeted by the worried faces of Katara, Yu, and Suki. Concerned about the overwhelming number of Fire Navy ships, Aang voiced their predicament. "We must have taken out dozens of Fire Navy ships, but there are still too many of them," Aang shared, his frustration evident. Naruto added his voice to the discussion, "We can't fight them all." Yu, however, reminded Aang of his destiny, saying, "But you have to, Aang. You're the Avatar." Aang's protest came from the weight of their young shoulders, "We're just kids." Standing tall beside Aang, Naruto declared, "Hey, I'm here too." Sensing the need for a different approach, Naruto made his way to the Oasis, seeking guidance and strength from the nine-tailed fox within him. "Nine Tails, I need your help," Naruto implored, his determination resolute. The Nine Tails initially resisted, responding with a dismissive tone, "No, you don't." Unwilling to back down, Naruto pressed on, "Yes, I do. You have to be willing to give me your chakra so that I can use my full power and you can use yours." After a brief moment, the Nine Tails reluctantly agreed, granting Naruto 24 hours of its chakra. "Fine, I'll give you 24 hours. But after that, no more chakra," it conceded. Grateful for the Nine Tails' assistance, Naruto returned to find Aang meditating, while Katara and Yu engaged in conversation. A sudden outburst from Aang disrupted the tranquility. "How about some quiet?" he exclaimed, startling Naruto. "Aang?" Naruto called out, relieved to see his friend awake. "Naruto, you're awake too," Aang responded with a mix of surprise and relief. "Yeah, I was talking to the Nine Tails. What are you guys doing?" Naruto inquired, curious about their activities. "We've been trying to commune with the ocean and moon spirits," Aang explained. Realizing he could lend his support, Naruto offered, "Here, I can help." Katara, intrigued by Naruto's proposition, asked, "How?" Suki, who had been privy to Aang's recent spiritual journeys, chimed in, "Aang has been communicating with the Nine Tails in the spirit world for the past month." Naruto elaborated, "The trick is to focus on the fish, to push and pull like the yin and yang." As Aang concentrated on the fish and connected with the spirits, his eyes and tattoos began to glow. Yu and Suki watched in astonishment, while Naruto was momentarily pushed back by the force of the Avatar state. The wind around them whipped fiercely before abruptly subsiding, leaving behind a gentle breeze. Concerned, Yu inquired, "Is Aang okay?" Naruto assured her, "He'll be fine. He entered the spirit world with the power of the Avatar state." Suki shared her knowledge, "As long as we don't touch his body, he'll find his way back to our world." Acknowledging their helplessness, Yu expressed her resignation, "I guess there's nothing for me to do now." Naruto, displaying his loyalty, declared, "I'll stay here." Suki echoed his sentiment, saying, "I'll stay here too." Encouraging Katara and Yu, Naruto urged, "You two go and see if you can find Sokka." As Katara and Yu departed on their mission, Naruto heard a familiar voice from behind him. "Well, aren't you a big girl now?" the voice said mockingly. Surprised, Naruto turned to face the speaker. "Zuko?" he exclaimed. "Please tell me you aren't working for Admiral Zhao." Zuko's response carried a hint of bitterness. "He tried to kill me, actually. It's a long story, but you won't live long enough to hear it." Back with Naruto, he regained consciousness in the midst of a desolate wasteland. Slowly getting up, he surveyed his surroundings, a barren expanse stretching as far as the eye could see. Determination fueled his steps as he walked toward a giant orange cage looming in the distance. As he approached, he noticed a keyhole-like structure, and instinctively, his hand began to glow with a vibrant blue light. With a surge of power, Naruto placed his hand into the keyhole, causing the cage to tremble and gradually open. A sinister laughter echoed through the air as the cage swung wide, revealing a towering nine-tailed fox within. Just as Naruto thought he was about to confront his inner demon, a different figure, older and with blonde hair, grasped his hand firmly. Back with Naruto, he woke up in a sewage-filled wasteland and got up. Naruto walked slowly to the gate of the giant orange cage. He put his hand up to what looked like the keyhole, and his hand started glowing blue, the cage started to open, and the fox started to laugh. Then a different and older blonde man grabbed Naruto's hand. Naruto snapped out of his trance and looked up to see a familiar person. He started to cry and sat down. "Dad?" "Naruto, how old are?" "Dad, wait, Dad," Naruto yelled. "Naruto," the man said, his voice filled with warmth and familiarity. Naruto snapped out of his trance, tears streaming down his face as he looked up at the face of his father, Minato Namikaze. Overwhelmed with emotion, Naruto could barely find the words to speak. "Dad? Is it really you?" Naruto managed to utter between sobs. Minato smiled gently, his presence providing a sense of comfort amidst the chaos. "Yes, Naruto. I'm here." Father and son sat down together, sharing a heartfelt conversation, catching up on the events that had unfolded. Minato offered words of encouragement and guidance, reminding Naruto of his strength and the unwavering spirit that resided within him. Filled with newfound resolve, Naruto wiped away his tears and felt a surge of power coursing through his veins. His aura became a radiant orange, and he sensed an incredible boost in his abilities, faster, stronger, and more focused than ever before. "It's time to finish this," Naruto mumbled to himself, his voice brimming with determination. He raced back to the Oasis, where he discovered Zuko holding Aang by the collar, his intentions clear. A fierce determination burned within Naruto's eyes as he confronted Zuko. "Thank you, Dad," he said to himself, hoping his dad could hear it too. "Back so soon?" Zuko sneered, though a hint of unease flickered in his gaze. Naruto, fueled by his newfound power, moved with blinding speed. In a flash, he appeared behind Zuko, delivering a devastating blow that sent him crashing to the ground, coughing up blood. The force of the impact left Zuko's stomach red, but not with blood. Naruto's punch had stunned him, leaving him unable to retaliate. Zuko, now battered and defeated, understood the magnitude of Naruto's power. He struggled to his feet, realizing that he stood no chance against the transformed Naruto. With a solemn nod, Zuko turned and retreated, acknowledging his defeat. As the dust settled, Naruto turned his attention to his friends, rushing to Suki's side to ensure she was alright. Katara regained consciousness, and together, they reassured each other, grateful for their survival and Naruto's intervention. Aang was still in the spirit world, but they all took a huge sigh of relief for the next few minutes. It was quiet besides the constant war behind them. Eventually, when Aang woke up, he jumped up straight away and looked around to see everyone. "What happened to you guys?" Aang asked. "Zuko happened," Suki answered him with a bit of a groan. 5 Fire Nation soldiers dropped down and captured the group. Naruto, realizing who was there, kicked back the soldier who was holding him, and sparks erupted from the kick. Naruto headed straight for Zhao's head. He grabbed Zhao by the shirt and threw him across the oasis into the pond. 2 soldiers tried to tackle Naruto, but Naruto kicked one and completely burned the other. He turned on Sage mode. Aang yelled out to him. "He's after the fish." "Why didn't you say that before I threw him in the pond?" Naruto complained. Zhao picked up the fish in a sack. "One more step and there is no more moon." "Zhao, killing the moon spirit isn't just bad for the water tribe, it will also hurt the Fire Nation," Aang answered. "He is right, Zhao," said in an older voice. "You will destroy the balance left in the world." Zhao put the bag in the water and then struck a fire slash at the fish, killing the spirit in an instant. The moon darkened. Iroh and Naruto jumped straight at Zhao, killing the remaining troops, but Zhao escaped. Everyone looked down at the dead fish. "It's over, we lost," you said. "No, it's not over," Aang said with a very deep voice. As Aang stepped into the water, a surge of power coursed through him, triggering the Avatar state. His eyes glowed brightly as he transformed into a towering figure made of swirling water and glowing energy. The immense power of the Avatar state radiated from him, and a sense of awe and fear washed over those witnessing the spectacle. With a mighty roar, Aang unleashed his fury upon the fire navy, his waterbending skills amplified to incredible levels. Waves rose high, crashing down upon enemy ships, toppling them with ease. Firebending soldiers were thrown aside as Aang swiftly moved through their ranks, his attacks precise and devastating. The sheer force of his power overwhelmed their defenses. The rest of the gang stayed at the pond, and Iroh looked around. When he saw that Yu still had color in her eyes, he realized something. You have been touched by the moon spirit, some of its life is in you. You're right. So maybe I can give it back. Yu said, knowing that was the only solution. No, Sokka said. I can't let you do that. Your father told me to protect you. Sokka, it is my duty. I have to do this, but I love you. You know. Naruto, Suki, Iroh and Katara knew they couldn't really say anything and looked down. Iroh picked up the fish. And held it up. Yu put her hands on the fish and blue energy showed itself and lit up the fish in Yu's body. Yu fainted and Sokka caught her. And closed her now dark eyes. A white light illuminated the sky, but it wasn't the moon, it was a beautiful young woman with white hair. Sokka immediately knew who Spi woman was. It's you, Sokka said with hope. Remember, Sokka, I will always love you. Yu said, but then disappeared. As the world turned completely black, a new light lit up the sky, but it was no spirit, it was the moon. In his unstoppable rampage, Aang finally closed in on Zhao, who had been attempting to flee. Was running away and crossed a bridge where Zuko was. Zuko yelled at him, you tried to have me killed. But you're alive, Zhao said in disbelief. Zuko ran straight at him, and there was one punch just beginning to fight him. Zuko was kicked back and the world seemed to light up just a bit, and Zhao looked up at the moon. No, impossible. Zhao screamed, regretting his actions just for a moment. Then a blue water giant hand grabbed his leg. The spirit grabbed Zhao and he was dragged underground. As the avatar state subsided, Aang returned to his normal form, his eyes no longer glowing. He surveyed the aftermath of the battle, his friends and allies joining him. The moon began to regain its luminosity, slowly illuminating the night sky once more. He knew this battle had been won. The next morning, Katara and Master Pakku. I've been thinking that me and a few other waterbenders and healers are going with me to the South Pole. It's time we helped rebuild our sister tribe, Master Pakku said. What about Aang? He still needs to learn waterbending. Katara asked. Well then he better get used to calling you Master Katara. Meanwhile, Sokka and the water tribe chief were talking with Naruto and Suki. When Yu was born, I was given a vision of a beautiful young woman becoming the moon spirit. I knew this day would come. You must be proud, Sokka said. So proud. Naruto looked down and said she was a great person and will never be forgotten. She was willing to do anything for everyone else. She is a true example of a hero. The rest of the gang gathered together and all hugged each other. They had nothing to say or do except stand there just admiring and looking into the distance, ready for whatever awaited them next. As dawn broke over the northern water tribe, Aang awoke, beads of sweat glistening on his forehead. His nightmare still lingered in his mind and he found solace in sharing it with Katara. Katara, sitting nearby, listened intently as Aang described the vivid images of the uncontrollable avatar state. Concern etched her face and she reassured Aang, it was just a nightmare, Aang. We'll figure this out together. Master Pakku, sensing the unease, approached them. In a solemn tone, he handed Katara a small vial of spirit water. This is a precious resource. Use it only in critical situations, Katara. It has the power to heal and restore. Turning to Aang, Master Pakku bestowed a set of waterbending scrolls. Study these diligently, Aang. Knowledge will be your ally on this journey. Naruto received a scroll as well, but Master Pakku's whispered words about the Order of the White Lotus and the mastery of the Nine Tails caught him off guard. Naruto bowed respectfully, expressing his gratitude, and the weight of his lineage resonated within him. Boarding Appa, the gang soared toward an Earth Kingdom fort, guided by the summons of General Fong. Naruto studied the scrolls, deep in thought, while Katara and Aang discussed the dream that haunted him. Upon arrival, General Fong wasted no time laying out his plan. Tensions rose as he urged Aang to confront the Fire Lord immediately, promising to help him unlock the Avatar state's full potential. Katara and Naruto, unconvinced and wary of Fong's intentions, voiced their concerns, leading to a divide within the group. Sokka, feeling the urgency to end the war, sided with Fong. Suki, unsure of the right path, ultimately aligned with Katara and Naruto. The group stood divided, facing a critical decision. Aang, grappling with the weight of the Avatar's responsibilities, hesitated. Eventually, he acknowledged the wisdom of those who advised caution. Turning to General Fong, he respectfully declined, triggering an unexpected reaction. Fong, revealing a sinister agenda, forcibly expelled Aang from the window, setting his soldiers against him. The battlefield became chaotic as earthbenders unleashed a barrage of rocks at the Avatar. Katara, overcome with worry, attempted to intervene, only to be ensnared by Fong's earthbending. Witnessing his friends in danger, Naruto sprang into action. With swift agility, he dodged Aang's attacks, trying to find a way to defuse the escalating conflict. Seeing an opportunity, Naruto tackled Aang, allowing Katara to break free. Aang, momentarily stunned, realized a dire situation he had inadvertently created. Katara approached him, offering comfort and support. General Fong, revealing the staged nature of the confrontation, applauded himself. That was perfect. Now we have to figure out how to control you when you're like that. Sokka, disheartened by the deception, took matters into his own hands, swiftly knocking out General Fong. Anyone got an issue with that? Sokka remarked, his tone a mix of frustration and determination. The gang, united once more, rejected the troops' offer of an escort to Omashu. Determined, they set their course, leaving the Earth Kingdom fort behind as they faced the challenges ahead. Aang, humbled by the experience, vowed to confront his fears and master the Avatar state on his own. Traveled for the best few days. As they got closer to Omashu, Katara and Aang were practicing their water bending. Suki and Naruto were under a tree and Sokka was almost naked in the water. Then Naruto heard a song as three people in colorful clothes walked through. However, their joyous moment was short-lived. As they approached Omashu, excitement turned to shock. The once vibrant city now lay under the oppressive control of the Fire Nation. The group, now facing an unexpected obstacle, exchanged worried glances. Naruto, his eyes narrowing with determination, spoke, "We can't let this stop us. There has to be a way to liberate Omashu and restore balance." The group, fueled by Naruto's unwavering resolve, prepared to face the challenges that awaited them in the occupied city. The once lively city now lay shrouded in an ominous atmosphere of oppression. Naruto, sensing the tension in the air, suggested, "I can move quickly and scout the area. Let me check things out first. We need to be patient." With his unmatched agility and reflexes, Naruto maneuvered through the narrow streets, blending with the shadows and avoiding detection from the occupying Fire Nation forces. He relayed crucial information back to the group, revealing the extent of the city's occupation and the dire situation. It was in the heart of the city that they discovered the distressing truth. King Bumi, the eccentric and powerful earthbender, had been captured and taken to the Fire Nation. Determination etched on their faces, the gang gathered in a hidden alley to devise a plan to rescue King Bumi and liberate Omashu. Katara, Aang, Sokka, Suki and Naruto collaborated on a strategy that utilized their unique strengths. Naruto, channeling his sense of responsibility, took charge. "We need to act swiftly and stealthily. Aang, you with your glider could sneak down and find a place to sneak in down there," he said as he pointed to the canyon below. Aang nodded, acknowledging the task at hand. "I can do it without being noticed. Just give me the signal." The plan unfolded with precision. Naruto, utilizing the city's intricate layout, scouted the locations of Fire Nation guards and reported back to the group. Aang, with Katara and Sokka by his side, orchestrated diversionary tactics, drawing attention away from Naruto's stealthy movements. Aang stopped. "Wait, I know a way in." They moved quickly through the sewers as Aang and Katara used their bending to keep sewage out of their face. Naruto used his to cover him and Suki, while most of the sewage hit Sokka in the face. In the shadows, Naruto identified the location where King Bumi was being held. His quick thinking and combat skills proved invaluable as he neutralized guards without raising an alarm. The group, united with the free citizens of Omashu, left the city's confines with a renewed sense of purpose. Aang, now armed with a lead on an earthbending teacher, and Naruto, with a clue about the Sage of the Hidden Paths, embarked on their respective journeys, knowing that the challenges ahead would test their resolve like never before. The next day the five were flying over a swamp. For some reason Aang started flying downwards. "Aang, why are you flying down?" Sokka asked. "Oh, sorry, I don't know why, but I feel like the swamp is calling me," Aang said. Before Sokka could say anything, the swamp swallowed them. The swamp sprawled before them, an eerie expanse of twisted trees and murky waters. Naruto's sharp senses picked up on a strange presence lurking in the shadows. "Something's following us," he warned, his eyes scanning the surroundings. As the mysterious creature closed in, Naruto's firebending expertise came into play. With a swift motion, he conjured a ball of fire, casting an ethereal glow that cut through the swamp's darkness. "Light should keep whatever it is at bay," he suggested, the flickering flames revealing the gnarled branches and tangled vines. However, the swamp had its own plans. The group found themselves separated, each facing illusions born from the mystical energies of the swamp. Naruto, alone in the haunting environment, was greeted by a spectral vision of his parents, their forms flickering like distant flames. "Mom, Dad, is this real?" Naruto murmured, reaching out, but the apparitions vanished like smoke. Meanwhile, Katara, Sokka, Suki and Aang experienced their own visions, encountering reflections of loved ones long lost or mysterious figures from their pasts. Reuniting amid the haunting whispers of the swamp, the group shared their visions. "I saw my mom," Katara confessed, a mix of sorrow and warmth in her eyes. Sokka recounted his encounter with Princess Yu, and Suki spoke of her father with a fond smile. Aang, however, seemed puzzled. I saw a girl and a flying boar laughing. I wonder who they are. Their reflections lingered as the swamp vines came to life, coalescing into a monstrous form that attacked the group. Naruto's firebending skills proved crucial in fending off the vine monster, but it was evident that there was more at play. Amidst the chaos, they spotted a figure orchestrating the vine creature. The mysterious man, seemingly one with the swamp, approached with an air of tranquility. You must understand the spirit of this place, he explained, leading them through the swamp to a colossal tree. Aang, catching sight of Appa and Momo being pursued by swamp dwellers, felt a surge of protectiveness. We can't let them harm our friends, he declared. The swamp people, initially hostile, sensed the sincerity in the group's intentions. Through dialogue, Naruto bridged the gap with his knowledge of spirits, finding common ground with the swamp people. We mean no harm. We're just passing through, he asserted. The swamp people, with an understanding nod, withdrew. The mysterious man, revealing himself as a guardian of the swamp spirit, expressed gratitude. You have proven yourselves. May the spirits guide your journey. As the group left the swamp behind, the strange encounter lingered in their thoughts. Aang, reflecting on his vision, pondered aloud, who was that girl and the flying boar? And what does this mean? I don't know, but we'll figure it out, he said. They left the swamp and flew to a small town right outside the swamp. Then the group stayed at an inn near the village. Frustration mounted as each attempt to find the mysterious blind bandit met a dead end. Revisiting the two kids who had provided vague clues before, Katara, growing impatient, demanded more information about the blind bandit. Hey, do you know anything about the blind bandit? She inquired. The kids, however, stuck to their story. No, she's a mystery. Competes and then disappears, one of them insisted. Katara, not convinced, pressed further. You're not telling us everything, she accused. We are, I swear. The kids protested. In a bid to unravel the mystery, Aang shared a vital piece of information. In my vision, I saw a flying boar, he disclosed. The flying boar is the symbol of the Bifrong family, one of the kids responded. Great, then that's where we go next, Naruto declared. Their journey led them to the opulent Bifrong estate. There, they discovered Toph, the elusive earthbender, but the prospect of her joining them was thwarted by her wealthy and overprotective parents. Toph, embodying her characteristic defiance, threatened to call the guards. Get out of my face before I call the guards, she warned. Aang, quick on his feet, proposed entering unannounced. To their surprise, Toph's father allowed them in, leading to an unexpected dinner where Naruto, Aang, and Toph engaged in conversation. Post-dinner, Naruto succeeded in persuading Toph to join their quest. However, their newfound alliance faced a setback when a mysterious metal case fell, trapping Aang and Toph. Naruto found himself imprisoned in a rock structure. This is getting old, Naruto muttered, frustration evident. After breaking free, Naruto confronted the intruders, swiftly defeating them and liberating Aang and Toph. However, Toph, independent and headstrong, was displeased with Naruto's intervention. I can handle myself, you know, she asserted, criticizing Naruto. Despite the tension, Toph continued to clandestinely join the group whenever they departed, asserting that her father had changed his mind. Naruto, ever perceptive, sensed the deception, but chose not to confront her. As Toph boarded Appa, the group departed, now complete with the reluctant addition of Toph. Their journey unfolded, navigating the complexities of alliances and the shared pursuit of a common goal, saving the world. Toph's integration into the group brought an unforeseen dynamic, and as Team Avatar journeyed through the Earth Kingdom, the strain of being a cohesive team began to show. Toph continued to pull her own away, while Katara argued that she should help out. Adjusting to living together, Toph's clashes with Katara added an extra layer of tension. The atmosphere became increasingly charged as a mysterious machine relentlessly pursued them, preventing any chance of rest. The pursuit by Azula, Mai, and Ty Lee added to the group's exhaustion. Naruto's firebending skills became crucial in evading their relentless pursuers. As sleep-deprived irritability reached its peak, a heated quarrel erupted between Katara and Toph, leading to a fracture in the group. In a moment of frustration, Toph chose to part ways. Aang and Naruto, acting as decoys, engaged in a risky strategy to lure their followers away. Cornered in an abandoned town, Aang faced Azula, while Sokka, Katara, Appa, Momo, and Suki confronted Mai and Ty Lee. Sokka and Suki fought Ty Lee, while Katara faced Mai with her while bending, freezing her in ice temporarily. While Suki blocked all of Ty Lee's Kai blocks thanks to Naruto's help. Meanwhile Sokka was as limp in his arms as possible from Ty Lee's hits. Eventually Katara froze both of them and threw them in the water with her waterbending. During a tense encounter with Iroh, Toph, unaware of his identity, engaged in a conversation that left them both happy. Later, she returned to the group, her anger at the others overshadowed by a greater concern for their safety and her friends. As Zuko, Iroh, Suki, Naruto, Aang, Toph, Sokka, and Katara found themselves cornering Azula. Azula, trying to let their court down, said, "I know when I'm beat a princess surrenders with honor." A pivotal moment unfolded. Azula, seizing the opportunity, struck Iroh while he was distracted when he realized who he was fighting with, creating a diversion that allowed her to escape. The realization of Azula's cunning tactics dawned on the group. In a sudden and alarming transformation, Naruto manifested the Nine Tails form of immense power. Zuko, quick on his feet, urged everyone to run and take cover. As Naruto began glowing orange, Zuko shielded Iroh, who, in a moment of pain and realization, mumbled Naruto's name. He's turning into the fire spirit. We must help him before he fully gains its power, Iroh declared, a sense of urgency in his voice. The gravity of the situation hung heavy, and Katara, offering her assistance, faced the challenge of healing Iroh, while Naruto underwent a transformation that threatened to engulf him in overwhelming power. In the midst of chaos, Zuko's stern command for everyone to run reverberated, leaving the group in disarray as they sought refuge from the unleashed energy. Suki. What's happening to Naruto? Zuko, we need to do something. Zuko. I don't know, but we can't let Azula take advantage of this. Get Iroh to safety. Iroh. Moans in pain. Toph. This is some crazy bending stuff. I've never felt anything like it, talk about a first day. Toph, focus on helping Suki with Iroh. We'll deal with whatever this is. Aang, we need to get Naruto under control. I can't heal Iroh properly with this chaos. Katara said. I don't know what to do. All we can do is hope he can snap out of it, Aang said. Naruto underwent a transformation, manifesting Nine Tails. Fearful of the power Naruto was tapping into, Zuko urgently ordered everyone to take cover. Get away. Take cover. Zuko's voice rang out, echoing the urgency of the moment. Naruto, on the brink of a massive transformation, began glowing orange. Within the recesses of his mind, a confrontation unfolded between Naruto and Kurama, the formidable fox questioning Naruto's strength and purpose. As he was in his mindscape. I thought you'd be strong enough, brat, Kurama taunted. I thought you could do more than that. In a poignant turn, Naruto's deceased father, Minato, emerged. He put his hand against the lock on Kurama's old cage, and it locked this time, looking stronger than ever. But he also offered guidance and love to his son. Hello Naruto, man, you really are all grown up, huh? Dad? He asked. What do I do? Are you still alive? Sadly no, and Ayu will know what to do, Naruto. Trust your friends, Minato reassured Naruto. Dad, please come back. What do I do? Naruto pleaded. You have good friends. Like I said, trust them. Tell mom I miss her cooking and her, Naruto conveyed before he faded away. Naruto fell to his knees, overcome with emotion. Returning to the real world, he awoke to find Suki by his side, sleeping peacefully. The night surrounded them, and in this intimate moment, Naruto made a solemn promise to himself. I'll never let anyone I love be taken away again. I promise on my parents' graves. As he embraced Suki, feeling a renewed sense of determination, Naruto sealed the pledge with a kiss, vowing to shield his loved ones from the perils that awaited them. In the middle of a vast empty plain, the gang, accompanied by Sokka and Naruto, found themselves surrounded by countless holes. Toph, with her unique ability to sense through the ground, hinted at the presence of a multitude of subterranean activities. Aang, displaying a childlike enthusiasm, hushed the group, orchestrating a spontaneous musical interlude, much to the skepticism of Sokka. Despite their pressing concerns and the urgency of the war they were engaged in, the group decided to indulge in mini-vacations, much to Sokka's chagrin. The absence of a detailed map of the Fire Nation fueled Sokka's frustration, prompting him to sarcastically suggest marching west until they stumbled upon the Fire Lord's residence. Aang, balancing his elemental training with moments of levity, proposed completing their mini-vacations first, promising to focus on Sokka's intelligence quest afterward. Should we just head west until we reach the Fire Lord's house? Knock, knock. Hello Fire Lord. Anybody home? I don't think so. We need some intelligence if we're gonna win this war, Sokka remarked, expressing his exasperation. Aang, embracing the carefree spirit of his mini-vacation idea, responded, hee hee. Alright. We'll finish our vacations. And then we'll look for Sokka's intelligence. Amidst the deliberations, Katara revealed her choice for a mini-vacation. How about the Misty Palms Oasis? That sounds refreshing. Reflecting on the journey to the oasis through the desert, Aang added, must have changed ownership since I was here. Heh. The unexpected discovery of Wan Shai Tong's buried library, guarded by the ancient owl spirit, set the stage for revelations and unforeseen challenges. The subsequent encounter unfolded a tale of betrayals, eclipses, and the revelation of the Fire Nation's darkest day, propelling the group into an unexpected mission for the greater good. Should we just head west until we reach the Fire Lord's house? Knock, knock. Hello Fire Lord. Anybody home? I don't think so. We need some intelligence if we're gonna win this war, Sokka remarked, expressing his exasperation. Aang, embracing the carefree spirit of his mini-vacation idea, responded, hee hee. Alright. We'll finish our vacations. And then we'll look for Sokka's intelligence. Amidst the deliberations, Katara revealed her choice for a mini-vacation. How about the Misty Palms Oasis? That sounds refreshing. Reflecting on the journey to the oasis through the desert, Aang added, must have changed ownership since I was here. Heh. In the serene expanse of the oasis, the group strolled leisurely, absorbing the calming ambience. However, the tranquility was shattered when Sokka, marching through the sand, became a target for a disrespectful act. A sandbender spat at him, hitting Sokka's feet. In an instant, Naruto intervened, confronting the sandbender with a menacing glare, commanding, leave us alone. The sandbender, unfazed, chuckled and retreated, allowing the group to proceed into their next destination. Inside the oasis, they encountered Professor A well-traveled anthropologist, seeking refuge from the desert heat. The professor's order for a mango beverage prompted Aang to express his approval of fruity drinks during strategic planning. A comical mishap followed as the professor accidentally spilled the beverage on Aang, prompting the revelation of Aang's identity as an air nomad. Professor A, captivated by the encounter, identified himself as the head of anthropology at Ba Sing Se University. He eagerly inquired about Aang's origin, leading to an amusing exchange about the agricultural practices of air nomads. Professor A. An air nomad right in front of me. I'm Professor A, head of anthropology at Ba Sing Se University. Tell me, which of the air temples do you hail from? Aang. The Southern Temple. Professor A. Oh, splendid. Now, tell me, what was the primary agricultural product of your people? Aang. Are fruit pies an agricultural product? Professor A. Oh. Truly fascinating. That's one for the journal. Sokka, ever practical, sought a more current map from the professor, expressing frustration at their outdated one. Sokka. What? No Fire Nation. Doesn't anybody have a good map of that place? Naruto. Probably not. The Fire Nation keeps a lot of secrets and their kids and citizens loyal. A, revealing his unsuccessful desert ventures in search of Wan Shai Tong's library, extolled the mythical value of this repository of knowledge. A. According to legend, it was built by the great knowledge spirit Wan Shai Tong with the help of his foxy knowledge seekers. You've made a lot of trips into the desert. Katara said, half asking a question. All in vain, I'm afraid. I've found lost civilizations all over the Earth Kingdom, but I haven't managed to find the crown jewel Wan Shai Tong's library. A, acknowledging the perilous nature of the desert, admitted the challenges he faced during his expeditions. Sokka, intrigued, promptly declared his choice for a mini-vacation, opting to spend it at the elusive library. Then it settled. Aang, I do believe it's my turn. I'd like to spend my vacation at the library. As Toph sought her turn for a vacation, Katara expressed doubts about traversing the dangerous Ai Huang Desert. I've made several trips into this Ai Huang Desert and almost died each time. I'm afraid that the desert is impossible to cross. Zay said. Professor, would you like to see our sky bison? Sokka asked. Zay. A sky bison? You actually have one, Zay said, surprised. As they got to Appa, there were sandbenders around him. Sandbenders, shoo. Away from the bison. When they got in the air, the professor was still curious. Tell me, sky bison, are you the last of your breed? Appa roared. Oh, delightful. I only wish I spoke his tongue. Oh, the stories this beast could tell. Momo jumped beside him and started chattering. Shush, chatty monkey. The subsequent quest to locate Wan Shai Tong's library intensified, with the group scanning the landscape for the distinctive structure. They looked throughout the desert for the next few hours. Suki was annoyed. It shouldn't be this hard to spot a giant ornate building from the air. As the group descended from the sky and landed near the mysterious buried structure, Katara scrutinized the surroundings, finding the building inconspicuous compared to the colossal structure in their drawing. Forget it. It's obviously not what we're looking for. The building in this drawing is enormous, she remarked. The fox, recognized as one of the knowledge seekers, emerged, ascending the tower before vanishing inside. Professor A, hopeful about their proximity to Wan Shai Tong's library, was surprised when Sokka pointed out that the library was entirely buried. No. This is the library. Look. It's completely buried, Sokka declared. Unfazed, Zay embraced the idea of starting an excavation. Naruto urged Toph to use her earthbending skills to explore the library's interior, revealing its substantial size and intact state. Toph, look and see, Naruto prompted. Toph, uninterested in books, expressed her disinterest, leading Aang to assure her that she wouldn't have to go underground again. Don't worry, buddy. I'm not making you go underground ever again. You can stay out here with Toph, Aang comforted. Concerned about potential threats, Naruto suggested that Suki stay with Toph and Appa, a proposal met with Toph's inquiry. The rest of the gang proceeded to explore the buried library, leaving Toph and Suki above ground. Zay admired the architecture, leading to bemused reactions from Aang and Sokka, with Naruto rolling his eyes. What's funny? Aang questioned. Zay's intricate descriptions puzzled the group, prompting him to simplify his admiration for the library's aesthetics. Nice owl, he concluded. Suddenly, a large owl revealed itself as Wan Shai Tong, the knowledge spirit, asserting his awareness of their presence. Naruto stopped the professor from walking away from their hiding place. I know you're back there, the owl spirit said. Naruto asked if Wan Shai Tong brought the library to the physical world. Are you the spirit indeed? I am Wan Shai Tong, he knows 10,000 things. And you are obviously humans, which, by the way, are no longer permitted in my study, Wan Shai Tong responded. The conversation unfolded with Sokka emphasizing their peaceful intentions, yet Wan Shai Tong remained skeptical. To prove their worth as scholars, the group contributed various items, with Naruto securing entry by offering a letter from a secret society. With Wan Shai Tong's departure, the group was free to explore the vast knowledge within the hidden library. Sokka, maintaining his humor, concluded with a cheeky remark, bright enough to fool you. Back with Suki, Toph and Appa. Suki and Toph were in an awkward silence. So, do you like it with us so far? Toph. Not when I'm flying, I'm more comfortable. On the ground where I can see. Well, I don't see the way you do. I feel the vibrations in the ground with the sand is so loose and shifty, it makes everything look fuzzy. Appa growls. Not that there's anything wrong with fuzzy. Zay found a book and saw depictions of some wired lion turtles. Hey. Look at these weird lion turtle things. Sokka looked at them but didn't care. I've seen weirder. Katara looked over at Aang. Hey Aang, did you know in a past life you were left-handed? Aang smiled. I always knew I was special. Naruto. Sokka over here. The darkest day in Fire Nation history. It's got a date at the top but it doesn't say anything else. Sokka looked at it and started to run off. Sokka, where are you going? Sokka. I want to know what happened to the Fire Nation on their darkest day. This could be promising. The information on the Fire Nation should be right up here. They came to an area where everything was burned to a crisp. Fine. You earned it. Sokka said. Sokka tossed the fox a bit of meat. Katara. We've got to get this information. To the Earth King at Ba Sing Se. We'll wait for the next eclipse. Then we'll invade the Fire Nation when they're totally helpless. Naruto. Wait, what about me? I won't be as powerful that day. Sokka. It won't matter because the Fire Lord is going down. Wan Shai Tong. Mortals are so predictable and such terrible liars. You betrayed my trust. From the beginning, you intended to misuse this knowledge for evil purposes. Katara. You don't understand. If anyone's evil, it's the Fire Nation. The triumphant escape from Wan Shai Tong's library left the group buzzing with anticipation as Sokka declared, we got it. There's a solar eclipse coming. The Fire Nation's in trouble now. However, jubilation swiftly turned to concern as they emerged from the library to witness Airbenders capturing Suki and Appa. Naruto, on the edge of losing control, felt Aang's calming touch on his shoulder, the Avatar's words of assurance echoing, it's okay, Naruto, we'll catch up to them. Drawing strength from Aang's steadying presence, Naruto nodded, his eyes now focused. Aang, fueled by fury at the sight of Appa muzzled, turned to Naruto with a determined expression, stating, we can't let them get away with this. As they pursued the sandbenders on their sand sailors, Aang unleashed powerful airbending to swiftly slice through one sand sailor and free Appa. Naruto, who was using his firebending to get across the desert, was losing energy. Aang had Appa luge near him, the two working seamlessly to catch up with the sandbender. Amidst the chase, Aang threw an airbending slice that flew the sand sailor at least 50 feet in the air. Naruto jumped off of Appa and caught Suki and said, I won't let anyone take you ever again. I love you. Suki was touched but was also very worried. Naruto, I love you too, but can we please get out of here before the sandbenders regain consciousness and try to kill us again? The return to the group at sundown revealed a mixed scene. Sokka and Momo appeared high on something and overwhelmed with joy, while Katara and Toph exhibited were of exhaustion. Katara, visibly relieved, expressed, I'm so glad you guys are alright. Naruto, noticing Sokka's unusual state, questioned, what's wrong with him? Katara's response, delivered with a touch of humor, added a lighter note, he drank cactus juice, and now he is still high on it. Amidst the varying states of weariness, exhilaration, and humor, the group braced themselves for the challenges ahead, fully aware that the revelation of the upcoming solar eclipse marked a significant turning point in their quest against the Fire Nation. Why is Naruto back to that scary fox stingy? Sokka said delusional. Katara slapped him in the face. Really Sokka, shut up. The sun cast a warm glow on the group as they enjoyed a refreshing spring, the water playfully splashing around them. Katara's sudden waterbending display turned the serene moment into a chaotic one, with Sokka being the unfortunate victim of a soaked ancient map. Sokka, visibly annoyed, sarcastically remarked, "Sure, 1,000-year-old maps just get it wet." Katara, feeling guilty, quickly apologized, "Sorry." All of a sudden, a friendly refugee family approached. The father greeted them as fellow refugees, inquiring if they were also heading to Ba Sing Se. Aang, ever hospitable, offered, "Cool, we can fly you in." However, Katara, considering the pregnant wife situation and the strict rules of Ba Sing Se, suggested, "It's probably not a great idea. If she's pregnant, we will have too many people for Appa to fly us all the way there, and if there is any turbulence, it could be bad. For the baby and her." Sokka chimed in, "Oh yeah, good point." Aang agreed, "We were heading to a ferry that takes people across the lake to Ba Sing Se. If you want to come." Naruto added, "Plus, I don't think the security force of Ba Sing Se will be very appreciative of you just flying in, knowing the difference of the city. The city is very strict on what you can and can't do." Aang then decided for everyone, "Well, it's settled. I guess we are going on a ferry ride." The group, now joined by the refugee family, headed towards the ferry, exchanging thoughts about the challenges they might face on their journey to the imposing city. As they approached the hidden dock, the bustling line caught their attention. The chaos unfolded as the cabbage merchant's cart got mercilessly torn apart. "Next." The old lady at the desk called out, and it was their turn. Aang, perhaps a bit overconfident, decided to handle the ticketing himself. 6 tickets to Ba Sing Se, please," he requested, but the mention of passports halted their progress. We don't," Aang began, but the old lady interrupted with a stern "No passports, no entry." Aang sighed, "Next." Resonating through the area. Never one to let sight be a hindrance, took charge. "Let me handle this, twinkle toes," she declared, confidently placing something on the table. "As you can see, I am blind, and these idiots are my helpers and servants." The old lady, seemingly honored, acknowledged, "Oh, it is an honor to serve the Bifrong family." Toph, with a mischievous smirk, continued her charade, "It is your honor." She explained that their animals were her seeing-eyed companions, and due to their unique circumstance, the old lady agreed, albeit bending the usual rules. "Well, usually it's only 1 passport a ticket, but since this document is so official, I will let it slide," she declared, stamping all 4 tickets. Walking toward a resting area, Suki was pleasantly surprised to see Sakura. Sakura exclaimed, leading them to sit down and catch up. "You dyed your hair pink," Suki noted with a smile. "Yeah, I just needed to change something about me, you know." Just then, the family they had encountered earlier cried out for help. "Avatar Aang, please help us. Someone stole our passports, and all our valuables were in dire need of help," they pleaded. Aang, the ever-helpful Avatar, assured them, "Don't worry, you can have our tickets. We'll fly in, don't worry." However, the pregnant woman pointed out they were 3. Katara, displaying her nurturing nature, offered to go with them. "I can go with them and make sure the baby is alright," she said. Sokka, always protective of his sister, chimed in, "I guess I'll go with you." Toph then chimed in, "Actually I don't think that it's allowed to switch someone's tickets," she said. Naruto, pragmatic as ever, suggested an alternative, "Or we could just give the tickets away to 2 random strangers and not risk getting separated, and to fix the wrongdoing problem, we could just not tell them." Aang, considering the suggestion, agreed, "That works too." But this decision, their journey to Ba Sing Se took an unexpected turn, weaving the threads of camaraderie, chance encounters, and the ever-changing course of adventure. As the night settled on the mountainside with the wall of Ba Sing Se within view, Team Avatar, weary from their encounters, decided to set up camp. Naruto and Suki, finding a moment away from the others, strolled to the ledge of the hill they were on. Where moonlight danced on the rippling waters. Suki, her eyes reflecting the glow of the moon, questioned Naruto, "You've been incredibly protective today. What's going on?" Naruto, his gaze reflecting a mix of vulnerability and strength, took a deep breath before answering, "I've lost my parents, and I almost lost my uncle. I can't bear the thought of losing anyone again." Suki, touched by his honesty, moved closer, placing a comforting hand on his arm. "Naruto, you won't lose me. I promise," she reassured him. In that serene moment under the moonlit sky, they shared a lingering gaze that spoke volumes. Naruto, his heart laid bare, whispered, I can't lose you." Suki, realizing the weight of his words, leaned in and tenderly kissed him. The touch of their lips conveyed unspoken promises, and as they pulled away, Suki looked into Naruto's eyes and said, "As long as you promise, I won't lose you either." They kissed again, this time a slow, passionate exchange that felt like an affirmation of their shared commitment. The night air carried a sense of serenity as Naruto and Suki, wrapped in the warmth of each other, found solace in the midst of their tumultuous journey. After the heartfelt conversation between Naruto and Suki, the gang resumed their journey toward Ba Sing Se. The air bison soared through the skies, and the landscapes changed beneath them as they approached the colossal wall that shielded the great city. Sokka, ever the observant one, couldn't help but notice something peculiar. "Hey, guys. What's that?" he inquired. Naruto, with his keen perception, swiftly identified the looming threat. That, Sokka, would be a giant drill. As they neared the wall, Appa descended gracefully, landing on the sturdy structure. However, their arrival didn't go unnoticed, and a few soldiers hurriedly approached to address the Avatar and his companions. Before they could disembark, a vigilant soldier intercepted them. "Hey, civilians are not allowed on the wall," he asserted. Aang, understanding the necessity of asserting his identity, looked down and calmly stated, "I am the Avatar. Take me to whoever is in charge." The tension hung in the air as the fate of their journey toward Ba Sing Se now rested on the response of the guards and the unfolding events within the Great Walled City. To his surprise, however, the commanding officer, General Sung, says the Avatar's help is unneeded. He assures that the wall's impenetrability prevents any enemy invasion of Ba Sing Se. Toph reminds him that the Dragon of the West, Iroh, had once infiltrated the city, to which the general retaliates by saying that Iroh was quickly removed and humorously explains that Ba Sing Se means impenetrable city. Toph alerts him once more of the oncoming drill, and Sung sends his elite team of earthbenders, the Terra team, to stop it. Sokka expresses his favor of the team's name. Ty Lee is able to effortlessly and single-handedly defeat the Terra team. Down below, the Terra team manages to launch one of the Fire Nation tanks into the air and bend earth columns upward against the drill's metal shell in an attempt to hinder its progress. However, the drill is so powerful that when it extends forward again, it simply crushes the columns. The soldiers are quickly forced to defend themselves when a flurry of daggers are hurled their way. Mai and Ty Lee are seen skidding down the side of the drill, prepared to battle the earthbenders. Ty Lee swings off a rope onto the ground and deftly takes out all the earthbenders in seconds by striking their pressure points. After successfully blocking their Kai, she stands triumphantly over the defeated warriors. Having just witnessed the defeat of the Terra team, General Sung exclaims that they are doomed and begins to flail his arms in panic. Sokka slaps the general and tells him to get a hold of himself, causing the general to apologize for his behavior. Toph asks if he needs their assistance at this point, and Sung turns to Aang to humbly ask for his help. But the situation now in their hands, Katara, Toph, Suki and Aang all look to Sokka for a plan, noting that he is the idea guy. Sokka complains that he always has to come up with the plans, to which Katara mentions that he is also the complaining guy, a moniker he agrees with. Naruto and Suki help bring soldiers to the medbay where they evaluate what happened to them. In an infirmary located on the outer wall, Katara utilizes her healing abilities on one of the earthbenders attacked by Mai and Ty Lee. When the general mentions the bender did not appear to be injured, she informs him the earthbender's Kai is blocked. Ty Lee did this. It's called Kai blocking. It is a very helpful move underutilized by most benders and used by a lot of non-benders. The earthbender provides a description of the person who ambushed him, whom Katara agrees that it is Ty Lee. She remarks how she does not look threatening, but it's like she takes you down from the inside. Sokka's face suddenly lights up and he states they should dismantle the drill in a similar manner. Toph chimes in by saying, by hitting its pressure points. Aang agrees. Naruto turns to Suki, you stay up here and help the general. Me, Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Toph will go. They start their descent from the wall toward the drill. Toph creates a large dust cloud to use as cover to approach the drill, instructing the others to follow close behind her, as only she will be able to see. The group dashes through the cloud close to the drill. Toph creates a tunnel underground and tells everyone to jump in before closing it up behind them. When Sokka remarks that it is so dark that he cannot see, Toph sarcastically responds oh no that it is a nightmare, causing him to apologize. Toph keeps tunneling until they emerge underneath the drill. Sokka sees an open area up into the interior and Aang boosts him and Katara inside. Toph refuses to go, explaining that she would not be able to bend or see inside the metal drill. Instead, she stays outside in order to aid their efforts by wedging a large earth column against the drill to try to slow it down. Inside the metal mechanism, Sokka says he needs the drill schematics. To the other's surprise, Sokka slices off the wheel of a nearby pipe, resulting in the rapid release of steam. Aang and Katara grow worried that someone will hear them. However, Sokka explains that a large machine is bound to have engineers to maintain it, meaning someone will come by with schematics to help them fix any problems. Naruto backs up Sokka. Yeah, on the Navy ships and dreadnoughts there is a team of just engineers that run the ship and help it out, so why wouldn't they be on a giant machine like this? Later, a firebender engineer walks out of the mist and approaches the source of the incident. He turns around sharply only for Katara to freeze the steam, entrapping him. Sokka takes the schematics from the engineer and the team runs up the stairway. He examines the schematics and explains that they need to cut through the braces that connect the inner mechanism and the outer shell. This would consequently result in the collapse of the machine. Sokka, Katara, Naruto, and Aang arrive at the location of the massive steel braces and carry out their scheme. Naruto using his firebending melts down the beam just enough for Aang to cut right through it in minutes. Slicing through one brace using their waterbending to forcefully shoot Katara's water skin supply back and forth between themselves. Just getting through the brace, however, both Aang and Katara grow fatigued. Sokka attempts to encourage them to continue, but quickly shuts up when a frustrated Katara threatens to harm him with her waterbending. Suddenly, a loud rumbling sound reverberates and the entire drill shudders. Having deemed themselves successful in destroying the drill, the team prepares to evacuate only for War Minister Kin to come over the announcement system and explain that the rumbling was due to the drill making contact with the wall. Sokka uselessly pushes against a brace with all his might but fails to budge it. Realizing that after exerting a lot of time and energy, the team has only cut through one brace with minimal damage, Aang recalls his earthbending lessons and points out that they only need to slice halfway through all of the braces, just enough to weaken them. After completing that task, he would need to deliver a final blow, forceful enough to shear the braces, to which the team agrees. Aang reminds them that everyone in Ba Sing Se and the rest of the world is depending on them to emerge victorious. Naruto starts to melt the next beef, and Aang and Katara immediately resume work cutting away at the braces, while Toph continues to hinder the drill's progress from outside. Meanwhile, earthbenders atop the wall hurl large boulders in an attempt to damage the drill, but to no avail. Suki watches the drill and is very upset. And is walking around with Appa laying down. I can't believe he just left me up here, what happened to promising he won't lose me, and I won't lose him. I thought he was done being overprotective, but now he goes right back to it. Enraged, she kicks a brick off the top of the walls and hits the drill. Two guards closest step away from the angry girl. From the command module, a soldier informs the war minister that an engineer has been ambushed, while another tells him a brace was cut clean through. Sensing sabotage, Azula beckons Ty Lee and Mai to investigate with her. Aang and Katara continue cutting through the braces. Sokka persistently cheers them on when a blue fireball suddenly comes hurtling his way, causing him to duck and shout in alarm. Katara and Aang look up to find Azula, Mai, and Ty Lee standing on an overhead beam. Ty Lee states her excitement to see the Avatar and friends while shooting Sokka a flirtatious look. Sokka responds with a wave and a drawled hey, while Katara pulls him away. Ty Lee dives toward Aang, who airbends her away. They split up at an intersection where Katara tosses her water skin to Aang, saying he would need it. Mai and Ty Lee follow Katara and Sokka, while Azula follows Aang and Naruto. Sokka and Katara come to a hatch-marked slurry pipeline, within which a rock and water mixture channels through. Sokka explains that it is a convenient escape route, so they jump into the muddy water in time to avoid Mai's thrown knives and are washed away through the pipeline. Peering down into the pipe, Ty Lee tries to persuade Mai to accompany her, but Mai pointedly refuses to go in that wall sludge juice. Ty Lee shrugs and jumps in while Mai closes the hatch after her. Meanwhile, Aang speeds past numerous engineers and control rooms with Momo perched on his back. He climbs a ladder to the top of the drill where he plans to deliver the final strike. While Naruto runs after Aang keeps knocking out soldiers and workers left and right while trying to fend off Azula. Katara and Sokka exit outside the rear of the drill covered in slurry with Ty Lee close behind in hot pursuit. Katara uses waterbending to create a plug, imprisoning Ty Lee. Sokka urges her to continue plugging the drain, explaining that when Aang delivers the final blow, the pipes will be ready to burst from the built-up pressure. Aang begins to waterbend at the metal to deliver the final blow. While Naruto and Azula jump on the top, the two stare at each other ready to fight. Azula strikes first, and Naruto receives this and uses her fire to make a wall. Aang chooses a spot on the top of the drill to deliver the final blow. Several boulders suddenly fall from overhead, one nearly hitting him. Aang shouts up to the general to stop hurling rocks, but Sung, still paralyzed with fear, orders his men to keep going. The Avatar uses waterbending to slowly cut an X into the hull to create a weak spot. Meanwhile, Katara continues holding back the slurry to build up pressure as Sokka continues to coach her, commenting on her good technique and telling her to remember her breathing. Irritated and fed up by his constant ordering around, she angrily snaps that he is like a chattering hog monkey. Sokka retaliates by ordering her to just bend the slurry, woman. But earns himself a wave of slurry bent at his face to shut him up. Toph approaches and teams up with Katara to help plug up the drain by earthbending the slurry, the two forcing it back even further and exerting more pressure on the pipeline, causing its sections to bulge outward. Naruto sits down and waits. Azula walks back and forth waiting to look for an opening. I don't know what you think you're trying to do, Naruto, I could just jump over that firewall. Azula said. But you aren't because you're trying to scare me and use fear like you do on your friends, Mai and Ty Lee. Azula looks at Naruto right in the face. This is for my father. Naruto said as he looked up with the eyes of a devil in animals. Azula truly felt fear as Naruto was right in Azula's face. And sent a punch right into her stomach which sent her flying backwards. She landed and was down. Now Aang. Naruto yelled. Aang jumped off of the giant wall and landed on a rock he cut just perfect enough for the entire drill to give out. Naruto and Aang found Katara and Sokka and Toph at the top. Hey Naruto, can we talk? Suki asked. Yeah, what is it? Naruto asked back. Suki sighed and took a deep breath. I'm gonna rejoin the Kyoshi warriors. I don't want you to be mad. I just think that now I have helped you get to Ba Sing Se I just need to help the Kyoshi warriors out. I'll come back though I promise. Naruto looked down. Is this because I told you to stay up here? Naruto asked. No, not at all. I just miss being in uniform with my childhood friends. Like how you miss the Fire Nation and your uncle. Naruto sighed. Okay, but remember I love you and will not let you be alone. Suki decided to tell the others. Guys, I have made a decision. I'm going to rejoin the Kyoshi warriors. This is my last night with you guys for a while. All of them hugged and said their goodbyes as she walked off. She started to cry. I love you, Naruto. She mumbled to herself. And they gang watched as the city was up ahead. You know, said Sokka, I think we need a team name. How about Team Boomerang, it has Aang in it. Katara laughed. No, that's terrible. Aang shows his approval. I like it. How about Team Avatar? Sokka said. Now that one is catchy, Toph said. Naruto, what do you think? Naruto was silent for a moment. I like Team Avatar. He said, wiping away his tears, smiling nonetheless. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys. Let me know in the comments section how was the story and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video. Bye bye.